Rock on, girl.
Okay, well,
Record me.
right. Okay, Randy, come back. Let's reintroduce him. Well, loving the girl power in this room right now. So thank you all for being here today. As Randy said, my name is Marley. I'm still a licensed broker in Florida. I worked also as a licensed real estate agent in New York, which, if you know, the Florida-New York connection is basically the same demographic. So I've done properties from $100,000 all the way to multi-million-dollar properties. And my passion really lies on the education side. So I'm excited to dive into this today. I know technology can be overwhelming. So I said this yesterday too. Please feel free to take like one item from today that you feel you can add into your business. This is really just the beginning. There are tons of more pieces of information, classes, lessons that you can learn, but I wanted to give you an overview. So the plan is to start with Greenhouse and then we'll dive into Moxi. So first and most important question, can everyone log into Greenhouse? Yes. Okay, awesome, great. Already A+ students. Okay, cool. So let me show you a few things that I've found in Greenhouse, just to get us a little lay of the land. And the way that I like to explain it is that Greenhouse is one world. And from Greenhouse, we're going to explore 4 other worlds. So kind of like if you play Mario Brothers, you know, when you go in the pipe and then you fall down and then enter into another world. So that's what we're going to do. So Greenhouse is the first world that we're in. And just to give you a lay of the land, and by the way, if you don't have a computer in front of you, that's okay. I have my screen up here, so I'll do point and click. So if you prefer to watch, feel free to watch. If you prefer to play with it as we're going through it, go ahead. I know that this is being recorded, so in the future, you'll be able to pause and rewind me. So whatever works best for you, do that. So here's just a little lay of the land in Greenhouse. So at the top left, where you have the BHGRE Greenhouse logo with the bug next to it, by the way, our logo is called the bug, if you didn't know that, that's like your home base. So if you ever get lost or you just have done a deep dive and you need to go back to the beginning, just always click on that. That's your home base. Then right next to it, you have a search bar that looks like a Google search bar, right? The trick here is to type slowly, like one letter at a time. So for example, if I were looking for distinctive properties, which is the luxury collection, or the luxury division, if you know about it, I would start with one letter at a time, because each time I type in a letter, you see how there's different results that pop up. So I recommend typing slowly. It's still coming up with exactly what I want, but it also gave me other options too. So that's another tool to use if you don't want to go through the whole site, you just want to search right there for you. And now at the top right is your account. So if you click on account and then you click on account settings, you can actually design the way that Greenhouse appears for you. And by the way, as we're going through this today, Randy's going to share some of his insights also. But if you have any questions, please feel free to stop me or pause me if I'm going too fast too. All right, this is for us. All right, so once I'm in here, I can see listings from my newsfeed. So maybe if I'm more on the leadership end, or if I'm working with a team, then maybe I want to see what's going on in my office or the company overall. Or maybe I'm just killing it right now and I just want to see what's going on with myself and my business. So wherever you're at, whatever you want to do. And then right underneath it, there's blue text that says, visit the My Profile page to set up additional preferences. And if you click on that, it brings you to what looks like a Facebook profile page. So just by a show of hands, how many of you use Facebook? Shocking. Okay. Did not see that coming. All right. So this looks like my Facebook profile page. I don't have a headshot, but you should. And I have this generic cover photo in here, but as I scroll down, this gives me all sorts of resources and updates. So I have notifications that I can find right here. I can get messages or send messages. This is an opportunity for you to connect with agents from across the Better Homes and Gardens real estate network. And I'll show you where we all live. So that is basically the admin section. So now I'm going to go ahead and click back on the bug, head back to our home screen. And I wanted to show you the main news feed, which is what you normally see when you would land on a page like Facebook, right? You have your main news feed. It gives you everything that's happening. Used to be in real time and in chronological order. Now it's whatever the algorithm decides it should be, right? So as you scroll down here, I have it set up where it shows me all the news, meaning everything that's happening in Better Homes and Gardens real estate, because I like to see what the company is putting up and when they're adding everything. So as I scroll down, it shows me everything in chronological order, and it shows me all sorts of information that the company has added, meaning the communications team, the marketing team, if there are new listings that pop up, all of that is here in the news. This is the best place for you to see what's going on in the company at any time. Most people skip over this. How many of you, just by a show of hands, have ever scrolled down on this part? Right. Yep. All right. So let's fly back up to the top, and all the way on the left side. One thing I want to show you is if you watch the left column, I'm going to do a little magic trick. You can't see it, but I actually just minimized the window and the left column disappeared. So when I first started using the site, I thought I broke it because the column disappeared. I just had to make sure that the window itself was wide enough. So if you ever see the left column disappears, just make your screen wider. That's all. I know it sounds silly, but I freaked out. I was like, broke the website. All right, so now at the top left, tools and resources. This is your site map for the entire page. So again, if you don't want to go through every single tab and open it, you don't want to go through the Google search, their version of it, just click on tools and resources. This shows you where everything lives in the greenhouse. And it's set up based on different sections. So you can see at the top here, we have the learning section. And then underneath the learning section, this will take us to One World, which is the Be Better University. And then it gives you other information. Down here is the marketing section. This gives you everything marketing. Now, if I keep going, my favorite section, Randy was laughing at me for this yesterday, but shopping and discounts. So you also, by the way, as agents at the company get discounts. This is where you can buy swag, where you can buy gifts. There's also, does anyone here read Inman? So you can get an Inman subscription through here also. So if you're paying for it, come on here and look into that. And then at the bottom here, we have office tools. And I want to pop into one of the office tools because the office tools section is really designed for leadership or admin, but there's one tool that I love on here for agents. So at the top left under office tools, it says office locations and contacts map. Do you see it? Yes. So go ahead and click on that. Oh, wait, I'm going to blow your mind. Everywhere that you see the bug is where there's a Better Homes and Gardens real estate office around the world. So you can zoom out, you can see where they are all located. And the coolest part is if you click on any of the bugs, it will pop up a window on the left side. It tells you the name of the office, their address, their contact information, who the person is that you might want to connect with. And so yesterday we were talking with one of the agents who was newer to the office and asking about referrals because she's from North Carolina. And so Randy said that you can connect with Parmita to see who she can put you in touch with in other offices. But if you are looking for a specific office, all you have to do is go here and zoom into the map and you can find an office that works for you.
Is this incredible or what? When I saw this yesterday, I was like, when she showed the world, now these two next to Cuba, I'm confused about because I don't see any land there. But so I think we have traveling Better Homes and Gardens offices there. But in Jamaica, I don't know. The Bahamas, they have really cool golf carts with Better Homes and Gardens all over them at the golf course and stuff. So it's cool, but this might be something you want to add to your listing presentation that basically, you know, we're all around the world. And how strong we are in the United States when you pull up the United States section there. So think about that. Really nice graphic. I remember when the Australia guys came on, they sat with me in Hawaii and they were quite the kick. They were a lot of fun, but it's a lot of green out there, huh, Gabe? We like that.
So yesterday what we did is I took a screenshot of it and I texted it to Randy's phone from my computer and said, you know, this is an example of an opportunity for you to share with a client or potential client and say, hey, did you know that we're located all over the world? Check out where you can find our offices. And so it's another great visual. You can add it to listing presentation. You can post it on social. All you have to do is take a screenshot of it. You can even zoom into a certain area and also use this as a way to share your referral network with people. That's the value that you're bringing to clients, right? Is that you're not just an agent in this one singular office, but you have a worldwide network. So that's just one of my favorite tools. All right, so heading back over to the tools and resources section. As we scroll down, we get to the BHDRE websites. Now, the BHDRE websites are designed and curated by the Better Homes and Gardens marketing department and by Dotdash Meredith, which is the large media company that we have a relationship with. So for us, this is an opportunity to use the content that they've spent a lot of time and effort and research developing, as opposed to having to create your own content. So if you look here, there's all different kinds of blogs and websites that you can look at and also share this content on social. So tell me your name again, I'm sorry. Jana. So you were asking about like social media or ways that they can provide value. So these are some great resources. Like up here, the Distinctive Collection blog, if I were to go into it, this shows me all about what's happening in the luxury market in Better Homes and Gardens. There we go.
I'd like to bring up something too. Sherry Chris, our old president, really had that relationship with Meredith in regards to the blogs and the magazine and that kind of thing. One of the great things about our new president, Ginger Wilcox, is that she comes from the tech field. So most of us don't think about who Dotdash is. One example is Dotdash owns Angie's List, who we get to see on TV all the time. And Ginger is really trying to increase that relationship with Dotdash to bring us more tools, because they're the digital monster and Meredith is the paper monster of, you know, those industries. So really looking forward to seeing more stuff from Dotdash here in the future with Ginger under the presidency. So excited about that.
And I would encourage you, you know, in all of your free time, just to take a moment, I'm just kidding, just take a moment and look at the BHDRE websites or the blogs. But also if you're taking like a Sunday to prepare a social media content calendar, or if you're trying to get ideas for information to put on a printed ad or a postcard, or however you're communicating with people, an e-newsletter, take a look at this, because this is a great place to find content for you that's already been developed. So we're trying to find ways for you to work smarter, not harder, right? So here are some great resources for you. And then as we scroll down, we also have the industry, trade, and social media pages. So I'm going to show you just a quick little sidebar on how to action on the Facebook page so that you can manipulate the Facebook algorithm a bit so it will show up for you, as opposed to going to Facebook and then searching for the page. This will actually help highlight it for you. So do any of you know if you're already following the Facebook page? Some no. Okay, so I'm going to go to the Facebook page. This is, I'll do the BHDRE Facebook page. And I already like it, so give me a second to unlike it. Okay, still see it, great. All right, so I'm on the Facebook page for Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, and I can click like, just like I would for any other page, except the difference with this one is that I want to really make good use of it, right? I don't want to just have it be another one of the million groups that I like, and then it gets lost in the shuffle. So at the bottom right, you see the 3 dots in the gray box. And by the way, you can't unfortunately do this on your phone. It's only on a laptop or desktop. So if you can't do it now, that's okay. You can watch it later or ask someone to help later. So go ahead and click on the 3 dots, and you'll see that the second from the bottom has a star and it has the word following. So click on, or yours might say follow. So if it says follow, click on the word follow. And then click on the 3 dots again after you've clicked follow. And now it should say following. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Click following. And now it's going to come up with all sorts of follow settings. So this is a way for you to action on the Facebook page. And if you can see up here, I have it set up to favorites. So now Facebook knows this page is one of my favorites, meaning it's not just going to default it and put it on randomly, but it's actually going to put it on when I tell it to. You can also change the notification settings on here. So for example, if I go to content, let's say that I want only up to 5 new post notifications per day, I could do that. Or I could do, oh, sorry, on back. Or I could do the highlights, which is the second option, where that's suggested post notifications. So again, pick your poison here. It's however you want to manage your social media. I just want to show you the options. And then once you change your settings or adjust them however you want, make sure to click update in the blue button at the bottom right so that it will save. Has anyone done that before? No? Okay,
So
cool.
then you have 5 different posts,
Yeah.
so you can set it up like that and just automatically post for us.
Well, it won't post for you,
Okay.
but you can go in here and just share it. So
Sure.
if I wanted to share it, I could just share it right from here.
Awesome.
And now let's go back to Greenhouse. So we're still in tools and resources. So I encourage you to do the same thing with the Instagram page. You can also follow it. The difference on Instagram is you make it a favorite. It's the same concept, just different language. And then let's hop into the YouTube page. Has anyone followed or subscribed on YouTube? All right, good.
No
That's great.
YouTubers.
So the YouTube page, I'm already subscribed, as you can see at the top here. But in the YouTube page, there's all sorts of videos. So if I click on videos here, it will break them down for me by the most recent ones. So they have Apex that just happened earlier this year in California. I've been in California a lot this year, this quarter. And then there's all different types of videos that are really great opportunities, again, for you to share with your clients. So you can post on social media, you could send it to a text, let's say, or send it by text. Let's say you just met someone getting coffee or dropping off the kids at school or going to a holiday party. Then you could send them a text after and say, hey, just wanted to let you know a little bit about the business that I'm in. Great meeting you. Check out this quick video. This is a 31-second video, which is pretty much the most of our attention span, or the max of our attention span. So check out the YouTube channel. I encourage you to save it. And again, maybe you want to add this to social posts, text message, e-newsletter. It's all here for you. Questions so far? Mary in the back.
Yeah. Way back here. So, can I do a video of the property? And I want you to shoot you?
Yes,
This is where it goes.
it wouldn't go here because this is the brand's page, but you can create your own face or your own YouTube page and set it up there.
Okay.
If you have a Gmail account, then you would set it up through Gmail because YouTube and Gmail are connected.
All right.
Also, social media fact, it's better if you're using something like Facebook and Instagram to put a video on that site versus where you watch it on that site versus sending someone away from that site. So for example, like if I put a link to a YouTube video on Facebook and I send people away from Facebook to YouTube, which is not connected, Facebook does not like that because you're directing traffic away from YouTube. And let's be honest, what's going to happen next? You're going to go down a YouTube rabbit hole, right? Not a Facebook rabbit hole. So don't, as much as you can, don't divert traffic away because that will, when you keep people on your page, it will actually increase your viewing because that's what the algorithm wants. So you have to feed into it if that's what you want.
And remember too, I learned this from Parmita and Paige and at Apex, they both spoke on a panel. And be sure that when people answer or any of these social media things, that they say something, that you answer them. Because the more you answer and engage, the more other people connect. So that's really important to get a larger, circle of people connecting to what you're putting out there.
All right, you ready?
So
We're gonna
always
fly back up. Oops,
say
sorry. We're gonna fly back up to the top, so don't get nauseous. Okay. Now we're gonna start on the left side, the BHGRE difference, and click the first one that says about BHGRE. Does anyone know how long BHG has been around now?
Come on, gang.
150 years. Plus.
100.
So we just
Just
celebrated the
start.
100-year anniversary. This whole section will give you a great history of the brand. And it's another awesome resource that you can use when you're working with clients or trying to get clients. So you're sharing with them a history of the company. And now that we're in our first real greenhouse page, I just want to give you a little lay of the land here, okay? So on the left here, you're always going to see a large photo. Then at the top right, you'll see a smaller photo. And then there'll always be a green box that's like a virtual table of contents. So every page is set up the same way, just like that. Some have larger table of contents, you'll see as we go through it. And there's two ways that you can scroll this page. The first way is just naturally scrolling up and down like this. And the second way is if I click directly on one of the items from the table of content, it will just fly me directly there. So depends what mood you're in. I usually like to fly there, but let's start from the top here. So in case you didn't know, because I learned this yesterday, you all have access to 5 different types of properties. And with those property types comes marketing. So we have the distinctive collection. Has anyone here used that one yet? Yes. All right, got 2, 3. So the distinctive collection is the luxury properties. The criteria is that it's the top 10% of that zip code, because a property in where I live in Fort Lauderdale might be different than Eureka, California, right? So it takes the top 10% of that specific zip code. Then you have waterfront collection, urban properties, commercial, and ranch and resort. So all great opportunities. And again, for you to show your diversity and the different types of properties that we work with. Now, as I go down a little bit, this is like the basic intro video for the brand, Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. So if I were an agent with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, what I would do after I met someone is I would probably send them a quick little text. I would have this video saved on my phone. Maybe I even add it, as Mary said before, to my own YouTube channel, you know, follow me, I'm Marley Cole. And then I add this video on there and I say, hey, Mary, it was so great meeting you at the soccer game. Here's a quick little video about my company. Check us out. So glad we met. That's it. So another great way for people to learn about your business. Has anyone seen this video? No?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I have audio.
I think I'll go through.
It will? Okay, let me try to play it. No, too many, because I'm on Zoom. So, all right, I'll let you guys watch this another time, as much as I love hearing my voice in echo form. And then Sherry Chris, who Randy mentioned earlier, hi, welcome. She was actually one of the first people to come up with the concept of adding values for a real estate company. So are you all familiar with I'm seeing some nods. Are you all familiar with the values, the page? Yes? Okay, they've been drilled in, I'm guessing. I've been to some offices where they have like the whole wall decorated with page, so everyone's different. But just like the other video that gives you a background on the brand, this video here says everything about page. So another opportunity for you to share text, e-newsletter, social post, however you want to share it. You could even do a postcard and add a QR code and have it linked to the values. I like having the ability to do more than one connection with one piece and really maximizing it. So if I'm going to spend all that money and have someone go to, or have someone create a postcard, mail it out, and then risk it being thrown out, I'd rather there also be something like a QR code on it so that they can then go and check it out too. And then as we go down further, in case you didn't know, Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate is connected with New Story. Have you heard about the organization before? So New Story is our philanthropic partner, and they build homes for people. The last ones that they did were in Haiti. And Sherry Chris at the last Fusions, I guess it was almost 2 years ago now, the company itself raised, our company, all the agents and leaders raised $100,000. And then Sherry matched the $100,000. So as a brand, we actually gave them $200,000 in one day. It was pretty impressive. And then there's also, thanks, Randy, an entire diversity section. There's also listing presentations, buyer presentations, all done in Spanish, and also available for you to share with people. Yeah, I will show you. Also, something that I'm working on in the learning department going forward is to have classes taught in Spanish to us, like to the agents. I know. So as you go down here, I won't go into all the details, just more amazing tools that you can check out. And then we're going to scroll all the way back up to the top. So come with me. And this is everything on the left side that we already went through, but just to give you a little bit more insight, if you click on the third one here, that's the BH&G media brand. So this is what Randy was talking about before. This is another opportunity when you're sitting in a listing presentation or even meeting with a buyer and talking to them about why they should work with you or what value that you can offer over another company. This is our opportunity to share that we're what they call a lifestyle brand. Have you heard this expression already? Yes. Okay. So the idea behind it is that it's not a brand that's just available to you when you need real estate, but rather a company that's available for you every day. The irony is I did a training for an ERA real estate office last week, and I went to the bathroom and I went to wash my hands. And do you know what brand the soap was?
BHD.
Yep. I was like, wow, really? Like out of every brand that they could have gotten. So that just made me think that it's really a lifestyle brand. Yesterday, the same agent who was from North Carolina said that she grew up with the magazines in her grandmother's powder room. Like it was always there all the time. If your house made it into the magazine, like you'd made it. So, you know, it's something that resonates with people in different ways. We all have different connections to it. A friend of mine also she loves candles. She had a big candle at her house where she was hosting her daughter's birthday party. And I noticed it was also a Better Homes and Gardens candle. So just think about that as like ways that we're bringing it into everyday life.
We touch everybody in so many ways. We don't realize how much our brand is expanded out there. And, you know, out of all the brands that Anywhere owns, we were the brand that was considered the lifestyle brand. So Sherry Chris in 2008 was the COO for Coldwell Banker, who's an Anywhere brand, and was asked to open up Better Homes and Gardens because they wanted a lifestyle brand. And one of the things you need to think about that lifestyle is kind of like who we are. Our brand isn't about pushing people into sales. Our brand is all about building relationships and how important those relationships are. I'm one that believes that out of the 37 years I've sold real estate, that real estate and those people that we work with are so important and are part of our lives. Where some real estate companies are about, let's just slam, let's get them done and move on to the next. All our blogs, all the information that you guys use is about building relationships. I mean, this last couple of weeks, a kid that I coached from 3rd grade to 8th grade called me and goes, I thought her parents, when they texted me, they wanted me to find a rental for her. And so when I called Genevieve, one of my favorite kids I ever coached, she was going, I go, you don't want to spend $4,000 a month on rent. No, Randy, I want to buy a house. And she actually said, Coach, I want to buy a house. So she saved up $120,000. She's 28 years old. But to be able to feel that you touched and this brand does that for us, you know, by building those relations and keeping them long-term, take advantage of it, use it out there. That's the only thing that's going to save us with all the lawsuits, you know, and everything else is about our relationships with the consumer. So build those, use the tools that Marley's sharing, take advantage of what we've got for you.
And how many of you have done magazine subscriptions as gifts with your headshot on it? We got Mary in the back, in case you can't see. So I actually went to buy a magazine because for the last conference that we had for Apex, I was going to do an activity. And so I thought, you know what, let's do like a vision board and I'm going to get a bunch of BHG magazines. We'll cut them out. I went to buy them individually. You know how expensive they are for one?
Like 14.
Yeah, it's more expensive to buy one individual magazine than for you to get an annual subscription through Better Homes and Gardens. So not only do you get the subscription, which you can gift to a client, which is another value add, but you can also customize it with your headshot, your contact information. So you're always being seen and associated with that. Also down here, we have the books. So they did a special edition with the books, and then BH&G magazine cover posters, which I noticed that you guys had up at the front behind Keely's desk, right? Keely? Okay, I don't want to confuse all the names. So I saw that you guys already.
It's actually Keely's picture there.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
It looks like it.
Just kidding.
Does everyone say that? All right, so we're gonna fly to the top here. I'm gonna skip the other sections because we already looked at those. So I'm going to minimize the BHGRE difference. And now we're going to move into our first world, which is the marketing world. So click on marketing overview, which is the first box or first item there. And again, you can see it's all set up the same, right? So we have a big picture on the left. a smaller picture at the top right, and then the green box is the virtual table of contents. This is the easiest way to know what's on the page. Otherwise, I found when I first started that I was getting really lost and like I couldn't remember what went where. So once I understood the framework, it made it a lot simpler.
Molly, question for you. Now, the magazine that for people that have Spanish speaking clients, that comes, it doesn't have a magazine, but it's internet.
I don't know. I don't think that they have one that's in Spanish. But
Okay, I thought they.
There was
I thought
one,
they did.
but it wasn't BHD, might have been People.
Yeah, it's one of the one of the
Yeah, probably
magazines,
People.
but I thought that there was an online Spanish version. So we'll have to check on that.
I will check
Thank
on
you.
that.
Yeah,
Let me know.
yeah, it's not printed, but I think there's an online Spanish version. So we'll double check.
Thank you.
So the current marketing campaign that the Better Homes and Gardens real estate marketing team is working on, they've called, this is since Ginger came on, so it's really Ginger inspired, is called Always Dreaming. Have you seen any of these assets shared yet? Okay, great. So this is a good time for you to check these out. They even have a whole website called bhgralwaysdreaming.com. And if you go there, it gives you access to all sorts of templates, the print marketing center. You can do a customized video. I know there's like a lot to play with here. That's why I said at the beginning, just pick one thing to start, because otherwise it can be very overwhelming. But the idea is to get people always dreaming. And I think that, you know, the holidays, the end of the year, the beginning of the year, this is a good time to get people thinking about that. So again, if you're looking for inspiration for your social content, for postcards, for content in what you're speaking with people about, because you have a million holiday parties coming up in the next few weeks, then this is a great place to get some research for yourself. Now, as we go down further, so the company Better Homes and Gardens has been around for over 100 years, and the real estate side of it has been around now for 15 years. So in true BHG fashion, there's a website dedicated just to the 15-year anniversary. So that's bhgre15.com. So I'll hop into that one just to show us what we have here. This gives us all sorts of logos that you can download just for the 15 years of BHGRE. Has anyone used these yet? Okay, awesome. So this is a great way for you to check out all the logos. And again, there's a very convenient video here that you can share out. Again, text, email, newsletter, social post, however you want. It even gives you an option to share it directly from here. So they try to make it as convenient as possible for you. And then they show you down here how you can even create your own video using the 15-year campaign. So everything here is built in for you. I encourage you, if this is what speaks to you the most or interests you, then take one day, maybe Sunday, maybe Monday, whatever day works best for you, pull an hour aside and go through some of this content, because there's a lot, as you can see here. So I'm going to hop back into Greenhouse. How are you guys doing so far? Good. The pulse check. Okay.
You guys have any questions? Don't be shy.
I know it's a lot all
Such
at
a
once.
reserved group.
All right, so as we scroll down here, and Jana, this might be helpful too with the social series. So this is Jason Holloway. He's a real human and he actually is awesome. Not an AI caricature, but he's fantastic. You can find him on LinkedIn too. He's always posting great content, and they have a multi-part series of marketing classes. So if you want to learn more and that's your jam and you want to dive into it, check that out. As we go down here, you'll see lots of other resources where it comes to local marketing. There's even a real estate 101 marketing guide for local marketing. So all of this is created by the Better Homes and Gardens marketing team. So these are the experts in the field creating it as their gift to you. So check this out. You can download it. And then there's all sorts of tools and resources as we go even further down here. But I'll go into this in a second because it connects to the next world that we're going to visit. Questions so far? Okay, I'm going to scroll down just a little bit more to show you what we have. This is everything we've already looked at, which are the brand tiers. But the last thing that I want to show you here, well, two more things. So has anyone seen the brand ID guide? So the brand ID guide, if I click on it, it will actually show me all of the details of the brand, like what is our green? Does anyone know what the number is or the code for our green?
Sure do.
Yeah, yes.
Sure do. 9939339.
So that is, yeah.
Sure do.
So if you ever needed to know what the green was, this is where you would find it in the brand guidelines. It also tells you the font that we use. It tells you about the primary colors, secondary colors, tertiary colors that we use. And this can help you when you're putting together marketing pieces, whether it's digitally or print, because it helps you keep everything in the same branding colors. It also has all sorts of downloadable assets here, like all of the different logos. So remember I told you before, there's different logos depending on the different tiers. So as you go down, you can see they have a whole distinctive collection logo series. So if you're working with a luxury property or you want to work with a luxury property, you can use the logos here. And then we talked about the tiers before, right? So there's a whole,
Tools,
sorry?
where are you, agent tools?
I am under download assets, which is in the BHGRE brand guide. And you can get to this from another place too. One of the greatest tools here is the photo library. How many of you like to go on to Google and find stock photos? Really? Why? It's so fun. So the great thing about the photo library here is that all of these photos and libraries and videos are available for you, meaning you don't have to go to Google and search for stock photos, see if they're available. You don't have to go to Canva and create one. It's all here for you. So you can go down here. They have ones for all the holidays. They also have all sorts of blank ones, and then anything that looks like this is a GIF. Show off for me. Okay, well, now it's embarrassing me, but you get the idea. So they have all sorts of holiday pictures and GIFs, videos you can use here. And finally, I'll go back here. There's all sorts of templates. And when I say all sorts, I mean everything ranging from social media to radio, which now would really be podcasts, right? So is anyone here into podcasts, listen to podcasts? Yes, Jan. I'm a huge podcast person. I love listening to podcasts. So for me, that's like, it speaks to me. But if this is something that interests you, or let's say you're invited on a podcast or a radio show, or you just want to create one yourself, then this gives you some great templates that you can use. If you've never done anything in the social space or video or radio or even print, then check this out because this is where all of their great ideas live. Has anyone seen this world before? No, great. Welcome to my world. We got a yes over here. All right, I'm gonna X out of this and hop us back into our greenhouse. We're still in the marketing overview section. I'm all the way at the bottom just to show you. And the last one is the BHGRE National Marketing Plan. So let's pretend that I'm sitting in front of a seller at a listing appointment and they say, what are you going to do to market my property? Has anyone been asked that before? Right? It's like a classic question, right? And what are you going to do that's different? Oh, the other agents can do that. The other companies do that. So Better Homes and Gardens has a national marketing program that's built by our marketing conglomerate, which is even bigger than us, and has access to all of the people in the Dotdash Meredith database. So that's not just a local marketing plan. It's not just national. It's not international. It goes beyond that. So just as another resource for you, you can download this and check it out. So I'm going to fly back up to the top. Stay with me. All right, we already talked about our brand ID guide. We'll skip that and let's go to presentations, which is the fourth one under marketing. So again, same setup. Now you should be experts in this setup. Yes, yes, you got the layout. All right, cool. So as we go down here, you can see on the right side in the table of contents, everything that you can find on this page. Not only do they have presentations, but they also have guides that they've developed, like staging guides. They have trend flyers, great pieces that you can pull apart and use for a full campaign. So let's say that I wanted to do a whole campaign on housing trends of 2023 before the end of the year, right? There's what, 15, how many days left in the year? 18. So I could pull each idea out and do one concept a day, right? Just as an idea, or maybe you want to do it for January, like 31 ways to stage your home in January and do one every day. So as I go down here, you'll see all the presentations. There are listing presentations, buyer presentations, and distinctive collection, which is the luxury presentation. If I keep going, it gives me more specific ones. So there's a 100-year anniversary flyer, and I'll show you later on Moxi how I could even download this flyer and then upload it as a PDF to my virtual listing presentation. So everything that you have here, you can use it in multiple ways. Maybe I want to post this on my social page and say, for those of you that are new to following me, did you know that Better Homes and Gardens has been around for over 100 years? So anything, that you're doing to set yourself apart is what's going to help you here.
Guys, I want to hear, what's the advantage of being with a company 100 years? Come on, give me some stuff here.
Reputation,
Reputation, it's iconic,
trust,
Name recognition.
name recognition, because I hear a lot that this is grandma's brand, and it's not really grandma's brand when the average reader is like 25 to 45, so the people that are reading this are a younger generation than me. So think about those things in regards to your presentations. Think about what it means to be with a company that's been around 100 years and what it means to that consumer. Remember, we're always thinking about what it means to our consumer, not what it means to us. A lot of times we get caught up in, I've heard things from the green signs. Well, guess what? The consumer actually really likes green. Millennials, green is their color. So think about those things when you're out there promoting yourself and going after those listings. It's important to take advantage of the tools that you do have.
Now I have to memorize the green. I thought it was millennial thing.
about this, the green sign, and if you really get good at a neighborhood, everybody else is gonna have, people are gonna want black to be prestigious, other people are gonna have their signs. And if all your signs are green and you start getting listings, everyone will see a green sign and just assume it's yours.
I like
Yeah,
that.
green is money,
Yeah.
right?
I'm
So-
very much into color theory, and green definitely evokes money, happiness, growth.
Green means go. Yeah.
Green
I was so hungry.
You like that?
You're giving away the traffic light there. I know. All right, so here are some of the flyers I mentioned. You have the top home trends. There's also one in Spanish, so you can post it, share it, text it, email it, take one concept, pull it out. And then as you go down here, again, like I said, it gives you lots of other ideas. There's garden and outdoor, spot on for Better Homes and Gardens, right? Home improvement trends. Have any of you ever looked at the general Better Homes and Gardens website?
Generally, it's, yeah.
Take the time and do.
Yeah.
One of the things, I went to a mastermind in Las Vegas, I think I lose track of weekends because I've been going so many places. But, one of the things that I heard from these top agents throughout the country and Canada was how important it is to really get our sellers to improve and clean their homes. That it's probably more important than we've seen it in the past, that people want a home that they can move right into. They're not looking at those cosmetic fixers and even like changing a wall. And today with this client, they have a brown wall. She asked me for a painter, so I gave her Angelica for a painter to paint that wall. Colors mean a lot. Light bright means a lot. It's our responsibility as agents to counsel, right? So we have to have those conversations with our sellers, and what's the best company to be able to do that when we have designing and staging trends. Give that, don't be the bad guy, show them this stuff, use these tools to help you get this property sold, right? We need that seller on our team. So use these tools to what you need to do to get your home ready to market it, to get the highest and best price, right?
Right.
We got a yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
It's also a really good piece of content to put out, and you guys can also do it with an opt-in, so people want to know that, right? So you already have it already made, so like we talked about on your social, DM me if you want to know how to get top dollar for your house. You have it made, you can download it and email to them. Now you have your email address, and now they just became part of your life, right, and part of your world.
That's a great way to pitch it and to get people to action on it too. I love that. And to take it a step further, so we have some staging design guides here. These were created by Meredith. And my favorite part about this is that in the staging guides, it actually features products that they sell at Walmart, like Better Homes and Gardens products from Walmart. So it kind of reminds me like when you're on Instagram and people do the like to know it, you know, like where you can shop right from an Instagram post. So it's the same thing. You could post it, you could link it to Walmart, you could link it, like Jana said, to opt into something. Maybe it's a list, maybe it's watching a video, maybe it's following you on social, whatever works for you. But again, these are just more guides to help you with the content and share it out. And my favorite one is Jennifer Adams, who's our in-house interior designer. You as real estate agents with the company have the chance to gift your clients a 25% discount off of jenniferadamshome.com. So this is another benefit that you're giving. And again, it goes beyond the real estate, right? Because this is where it starts to lead into that lifestyle, because you're not just helping them find a property, buy, sell, rent, invest, etc., but you're really helping them build their lifestyle, design their lifestyle with them. And then just in case you were not overwhelmed and didn't have enough resources already, just to scroll down a little bit more, we have Curb Appeal Guide, Design 101, Landscape 101, and the best one, 10 reasons to work with a Better Homes and Gardens real estate professional at the bottom.
Create PDFs and email them.
Yep,
It
so
looks like.
I don't even
Just
have to
pull
create
one
it.
up.
I can just download it right now.
Yeah,
And
what
that's
I
it.
did, Yeah.
ta-da. So now it's downloaded. I'll show you this one. Here we go. See, and it's even got the green.
It's got a few colors in there.
I would even break this up into a 10-day campaign, right? So I could do this over 10 days. I could do this like the 10 days leading up to the new year, or maybe I want to do it like the first 10 days in February when everyone's gotten their gifts already from their family, right? And then move forward from there. So think about ways that you can use it and be creative with it. There's also, because again, we haven't had enough, most important strategies for house hunting and financing. This is always a big question mark. People spend a lot of time researching on the internet, and it can be really overwhelming when they start to look for information. And there's so much out there that Google has to say, right? So here's an opportunity for you to share with them. And then at the bottom, some blank templates for you. So if you want to create your own, like you were saying about creating your own PDF, you can do that right from here. And then I'll show you later how you can upload it to Moxi, and then you have your own custom pages right there. It's also a great way to communicate with your clients in a consistent branding and to communicate with them using professional materials. So it saves you the trouble of having to design something yourself. All you have to do is open or download it and then insert the text.
So Marley, you said lender also. Can our in-house lenders team up with our agents and have something connected to this?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna fly back up to the top. I'm gonna skip the video section for now because I want to hop us into the first world here outside of this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sixth one down, which is the BHGRE Marketing Center. Go ahead and click on that. And you'll see that it comes up with this big picture, and there's an orange button that says access the marketing center in that picture. So click on that button. It's going to bring us into the marketing center. The marketing center is another world outside of the greenhouse, but you can access it from there. I am a bookmark person. Anyone else? Bookmarks? Yes, huge bookmark person. This one I recommend bookmarking because it's a good one to save. So you don't have to go into greenhouse, then go to marketing, then go to that. It's too much. I don't even want to say it all. So here's a few pieces in the marketing center for you to pay attention to. This is where you can do all sorts of principles.
When I
Yes.
hit marketing,
Does it ask you to log in?
yeah.
It's okay. You could just use the greenhouse login information. It's the same one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm
So
already
which-
logged
which
in.
one did you pick
I'm just in
under
on.
marketing? Which one did you pick?
under
Center?
marketing.
Marketing
It's the
Center.
sixth one,
Okay.
BHGRE Marketing Center.
Okay.
Awesome.
Let me just log in again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine may be logged in also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Security first, safety first.
There we are.
All right, so now on the right side, you have exclusive tools. Has anyone used Pinpoint in a listing presentation? We got one in the back. All right, if you've not used it, we can do a whole other class another time on it. But basically what it does is it connects to the Meredith database. And you can sit with a potential seller. You could also do a screen recording of this and show on your social account or show in a text message, video, or put on your YouTube channel, ways that you can actually zoom in specifically to an area to figure out how and who and how many people that you want to market to for a specific property. You could search by people's income, you can search by the type of household, so you can really narrow it down. This again is a very unique tool that other companies don't have access to, but because we're with Dotdash Meredith, we have a connection there.
So Meredith is like the CIA of magazine stuff. They have
Got it all.
gotten all this data, or the FBI, all this data on people that have gotten the magazines or somehow are connected to Meredith Corporation. So, you know, it's something to use. I think the best story that I heard about how Pinpoint worked was in Kansas City. There was somebody that had a very upper end horse facility in Kansas, and it was kind of not really a Kansas type property. And Meredith looked at it and said, okay, we think the best choice for this is probably going to be somebody with racehorses and that are from California to New York. Well, the buyer ended up coming from California, but they also had stables in New York, and they wanted a halfway point to rest the horses. So Pinpoint narrowed down just specific type of people in that kind of market and only spent marketing dollars on that group and ended up selling the property. So it does work. It doesn't always work, but it does work to really, really knock down and pinpoint who should be your potential buyer,
So to speak.
so to speak.
And if you click on the second option under exclusive tools with the gray box, it says social tool. So the social tool was recently updated, and I won't do a whole session on this now, but just to show you a couple things that were just changed. So if you click at the top, or if you look at the top, you see the dark gray bar, the second one. So first we have articles, then images and videos. So if I click on images and videos.
Look at who that
I know,
is.
sorry,
What a headshot.
you won't get me on yours. Whoa, that's way too big. Too close.
I'm still back with biscuits and jam.
Yeah. Too big, too big. You can upload your own images and videos right here for you. That's why I have my headshot on here. You can also search by the size. So for example, I could click on square if I wanted to post something on Instagram, because that's the size proportions for Instagram. And then a few updates. So under properties, I don't have any listings right now, so that's why it doesn't show anything. But on the left side, you see where it says listing status. It used to be that you could only look at or share actives. Now you can share actives, pending, and off market. So benefit is like if I have a listing and it goes under contract, I can still share it out even when it's pending. Or if the property closes, then I can share it out and celebrate that I sold it. So that's a new update. This also now connects to, I'm going to go under my social profile and social accounts. And there used to not be Instagram. So this is also a new addition. If you haven't played with this in a while, you can connect this to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter. Does anyone here use LinkedIn for work? I encourage you, if you're not into social media otherwise, that you at least set up a LinkedIn profile for your account. I do a whole virtual session called Online Reputation Management. And even though you don't have to be a social media influencer to be successful in real estate, number one, but do know that people are searching for you online. So if they're going to search for you, you want to give them something substantial to find about you. LinkedIn is the most professional way for them to find you. And the best part is you get to curate your own online reputation. So just something to think about.
The Virtue Link Connect now, it's just gonna bring in our profile.
So I'm gonna hop out of the marketing center and go back to Greenhouse. And just to show you a little bit more, I can click on digital marketing if I want to learn about SEO, which is search engine optimization. It gives me some resources here, how I can improve my on-site or off-site SEO. If you're unfamiliar, SEO or search engine optimization is to help people find you faster on the algorithm and to help your results pop up closer to the top. I'm going to close the marketing tab now, and I'm going to bring you into my world, which is the best world, the learning world. So under marketing, we have learning. go ahead and click on the first one, which says Be Better University. And click on the orange button in the big picture, which says Go to Be Better University. Here's another world that I recommend you add as a bookmark if you're into bookmarks.
We're gonna feed you at one,
I
so.
already have that bookmark.
Keep
Oh,
working.
All right, so as this is loading, just to give you an idea, so Be Better University is where all of the courses are housed. And there are courses, meaning any course that has ever been taught that's available is there. And then you can create a class under a course. I know it sounds like a synonym, but the way that it's set up is actually different. So we have courses and then there are classes under the course. There's also, has anyone used RA Scoreboard here? So as this is loading, I'll ask all of you if you would like an easier way to access this. You can also download it and I'll show you. I don't know if you can see it, but it looks like a white square and then the green bug. That's the Be Better University app. So if you go to the App Store and you want to download it now, feel free. It's a white square with the green bug. I know it's probably hard to see from here, but that's the Be Better University app. So this is a way for you to access programs like RE Scoreboard. So let's say, like, for example, next month, okay, shameless plug, guys. Next month, I'm running a virtual listings challenge. And part of the benefit of being in it is that you get to like compete with people from across the world. And you can see on the leaderboard where you rank in the listings challenge. So you can check it right from your phone. And you can see how many contacts have you made, how many appointments do you have, how many listings are under contract, how many deals have closed. So you can use this for yourself as an individual if you like to track your goals. You can connect with your broker or mentor and have them work on the goals with you. You can set up a class within your office. Maybe you want to have just like this office exclusive lead generation challenge for February or March, once everyone's fallen off the New Year's resolution wagon. So wherever you want. Yes.
What app was that one?
Be Better
Oh, I got that.
University. Okay, awesome.
I thought you mentioned it.
So now that we're in here, I want to just, again, show you like the lay of the land here. I usually, when I come here, I only go to the button at the top right, which are the 3 lines next to the word menu. And when you click on menu, the first one I go to is Learning Library Search. Learning Library Search will bring me to a page that has all of the courses for Be Better University. You can filter them by the content. There's a few different ways that they classify the courses. There's in-person, like we're doing right now, remote and in-person, self-paced, learning content or learning plan. So they're pretty self-explanatory. But the way that if you just scroll down, is that you'll see every class has like a green flag at the top left. Do you see it? So the green flag will tell you what type of class that it is. So I could search in here if I wanted, like if I wanted agent challenge. And again, you want to type very slowly. I don't know why, it's just like very sensitive, or I'm just a really fast typer. One of the two. So it shows you everything. And then there's also some of the classes are tagged with different pathways, meaning like if I just want to learn about Moxi Works, I can search just for a Moxi Works pathway and search just for that. So that's the learning library. Now click back into the 3 lines next to the word menu.
Can we go back to Grow real quick?
Sure.
Has anybody here done Grow?
I did, it was great.
I encourage you, if you want to increase your business and have accountability, jump into Grow. It's going to be January 8th, I think.
Yeah.
That it starts. So think about doing that just to get yourself aligned for the new year. I personally believe the first quarter is still going to be level, but I think the second quarter is going to pick up. That's at least Randy's crystal ball of 37 years. I don't think interest rates are going to be able to stay at a higher rate. I do believe they'll drop. Federal government can't keep paying the interest that they are on our debt, which is quite big. So, you need to be prepared. You need to be active and be real estate. And this is just one way. January 8th is a great time to start and get involved. Stay focused.
So you told us to go to Be Better University, and now where was the Grow? I saw this.
So Grow is under learning library search.
Thank you.
Sure. And now if you click on those three lines again, next to the word menu, we'll go to the third one down, which is the calendar. So this is really where I live. So all of the classes that you'll see are color coded. Mine might look a little different than yours because it does colors based on classes I'm teaching also. Anything that's in gray means that either the class has passed or registration has closed. But good news, and something that I want you to know is, like, let's just pick one, for example. I'll do this one. Like Moxi websites 101. I'm going to click go to class page. I just want to show you sometimes what the instructors will do is they'll close the registration at least the day before the class. That way they can connect with the agents starts in case they need to give them any sort of prep material. So it's not meant to keep people out, it's more to prepare people. But what happens is on here, so you see this is Jeffrey Hernandez, he's the instructor for this class. So let's say that you want to join this class, please just send me a message, or you can, I'm going to volunteer you, message Randy, and he can reach out to me, and I can reach out to the instructor unless you are already connected with them directly and say, hey, Jeff, do you have any openings in this class? I'd love to sign up all the agents from Randy's office in Sonoma. So just want you to know, like, even though it is grayed out, it's really just the system. And sometimes there are openings. So don't let it disappoint you.
Top producing agents constantly look. Again, going to that mastermind and being around there was three of us BHG owners, all founders members that were there. Yeah, Aaron Drussel out of Utah, Tony Hansen out of North Carolina. People go to get better. Take advantage of learning more and sharpening your skill. If you want to be in real estate, you need to be, because the game's changing.
Is there a suggestion box that you could put into that they could actually have some trainings after hours? I mean, I know when it's in person, it's probably problematic, but for people that have other things that they do during the day.
That is feedback that I've given to them. And that's also why I'm going to be doing it's the listening challenge that we're doing this year is going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern, just because that's just for the daily check-ins, but you don't have to participate. But previously it was at, I think, 10 a.m. And especially because we have our offices in Hawaii, like they can't, it's way too early. They're 6 hours ahead of East Coast time, so we're behind. So we're definitely looking into that for this year. And we actually just submitted a proposal last week for the Q1 and Q2 classes with different times, and also to add in extra times later and recorded classes so that you could do more self-paced, and also Spanish speaking classes. So thank you. And please feel free to continue sharing feedback, because that's really helpful. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it really is tough, because even when Amy Chiro was the educational director, I used to say, can you send us this stuff that also says Pacific time? Because a lot of us just look at the time and we don't realize it's Eastern time. And then we get on at 1 o'clock and realize, no, it happened 3 hours ago. So yeah, so we've been pushing for this for a long time. And there's a lot more of us on the West Coast than there used to be. And I can tell you, Myron and Honolulu will not get up that early.
Well, I'm always asking because my partner, she has a day job, and so she can't ever take any of these trainings, during the day. And even for myself, I did Rise and Grow this last fall semester. There was a couple of times, and I think you can only miss 2 classes and then you're kind of bounced. And I had to meet an inspector, or I had to meet, during the day. It came up at the last minute, so it would be nice to have evening things.
Thank you. I appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, thank you.
And now the last thing I want to show you in Be Better University is if you open those 3 lines next to the menu again and scroll down, you can click on RE Scoreboard. And then click on the top option, which says My Dashboard. So this is a layout of the goals that you can set for yourself. This is also what it looks like when you join a class, and you can see I've not had a great year so far, but there's still a few weeks left, right? But I can update all of my activities. I can edit my goals. And for those of you that have used an Apple Watch or seen an Apple Watch, you know how it completes the rings. So it's the same concept here. So if I edit my goals, let's say I'm really only going to realistically have time for 1 appointment this week. Maybe I could get 2 buyer agreements this month. I think I'll only end up with, let's say, 1 listing this month just because people are busy. But they're excited to buy. So I'll say, I'm still gonna stick with 5 offers written. Then I save my goals and I can update my activity here by saying, you know what, I hit my target. I got 1 appointment this week. I did 1 buyer agreement. I haven't gotten any listing agreements yet, but I've already written 2 offers. And now watch the magic happen. Ta-da, most satisfying thing. So now the rings fill up and you can see it says like 2 out of 5 completed, right? So again, just a great visual for you to keep track of your goals. Something you can do with a mentor, with a partner, with your manager, or just with yourself, however you like to be held accountable. This is another great resource that you could share just with yourself to help you have the best year that you want. So maybe now is the time that you think about what your goals are for 2024 in terms of business planning and what you want them to be. Bless you. All right. This is on the app, and my favorite part of this is at the bottom right, you see the green circle with the chat bubble and question mark in it. Click on that. And the second option here, BBU Help Center, wait for this, I'm gonna blow your mind. This is like a secret world within the world. It's like we just got to the next level in Mario Brothers. This has on the top right, the RE Scoreboard Agent Goal Projector walkthrough. So if I just went through that really fast, and you're like, I have no idea what you just said, or I can't remember that, it's all here for you. So you can actually go through and learn all about RE Scoreboard. You could see maybe you want to set up a class for yourself, or maybe you and a handful of agents want to have a little internal competition or a challenge or accountability, however you want to set it up. All of that is available for you right here. It teaches you how to use everything on the site.
And where is that? I'm sorry.
That's okay. When you click on the chat bubble at the bottom right, it's
Oh,
the
I see.
second option, the BBU Help Center.
And guys, if you want to make this a career, doing things like this is going to make you more accountable and focused. Literally, some of the people that I heard speak last weekend, if their agents didn't do a certain amount of prospecting during the week, they let them go. They just fired them. They said, you're not interested in being real estate, and they would let them go. I will never be that person, but it's also, this is a job and this is a commitment. So help yourself set your commitments up by utilizing these tools.
And like you said earlier, we're partners. in
We're
this.
partners. Yes, that is something else that I took from that training, that we are all partners here for each other's success. And it takes all of us to move forward and, you know, stay in business and pay our bills, all that fun stuff.
I would even encourage you, because I see a lot of you taking notes today, to maybe have a debrief meeting where you share some of the ideas that you came up with today. It seems like a lot of you are getting really creative now and getting some inspiration. So whether it's for your accountability, your goals, your social posts, your content, whatever it is, I would encourage you to share that too, if you're open to it.
Well, we do have the founders of the Green Table here.
I was just looking at her.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, and that agents get together. Does everybody know what the Green Table is here? Gary, Alicia, you guys want to speak a little bit about it real quick?
It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's just, we try to come together once a month just to collaborate and, you know, talk to each other. It's not very structured. It's just open to, you know, if you're going through something challenging, let's talk about it. Maybe we can help you through it. You know, if you got something really exciting to share, we'd love to help celebrate with you. Like, yeah, it's just for us to come together.
That's awesome. I've never heard of any other office doing something like that. It's really special.
Yeah, they made
It's
it up
really
and it's
cool.
really cool. I
I
mean,
love that.
part of that is what we used to do when everybody used to show up at the offices, and we every day had, you know, there's a few of us that remember that a bunch of us all came into the office together. We all shared our stories. If we had a good transaction, we shared that. If we were working with an absolutely awful person, we always got support. And that's really lacked by not showing up and not being in the offices. We just got so much energy and synergy with each other that we always kind of protected each other, you know, and it's a cool thing. So I encourage you guys, take advantage of, you know, that they put this Green Table together and show up to that. Managers aren't allowed. It's for you guys to get together. So, but you don't have to do it then. You can actually just show up to the offices. That's okay too.
It's just Randy.
Just makes it easy.
Yeah, it makes it easy. Makes it easy. And I won't take it over. That way.
All right,
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
coming to the end,
I
even
heard.
though it seems like there's a lot more. So just a few pieces for us to check out. In communications and PR on the left-hand side, if you're looking for ways to get yourself out there in the newspaper, or if you've never been in a print ad or never done PR for yourself, and you scroll down here, it gives you all sorts of resources for PR. There's a PR toolkit, there's press release templates. So check that out if it's something that interests you. I'm gonna go back up to the top here. And then another world I'd like to invite you to is BHGRE Connect. Are you all on Connect? That's also an app that you can have on your phone. Maybe that's what I said before. So I actually just posted in Connect earlier this morning. Again, my Connect might look different than yours because I'm in other groups or more groups. But if you're in Connect, the agent connection is like your internal BHGRE social media page.
Where is that one?
That is the second one under communications and PR.
Oh, gotcha.
So I just posted this morning and I just got a message actually from our BHGRE marketing person who said that, she said, great post this morning, Marley. So I did good. I don't know why it's embarrassing me right now and not loading, but we'll go back to that in a second. All right, now under communications and PR back on the greenhouse, we have the events section. This will show you any events that are coming up next. And then right below that, this is really the main event, aside from learning, which of course is the best department, is agent tools. So I won't go into all of them. We are going to explore Moxi next, but these are all of the tools that you as agents have access to. This is probably where I think people get the most overwhelmed because there are just so many tools to look at. I do all sorts of classes and training with this. So Randy and I have already talked about doing follow-up virtual training where we can go through a lot of the tools. What I will show you here is that you also have access to programs like Dotloop, there's approved suppliers, you have BHGRE swag, there's all sorts of opportunities for you. So check that out. And of course, my favorite, the closing gifts. I'm going to minimize the agent tools. Don't worry about office tools and talent attraction. That's really geared towards leadership and admin. So unless that is your focus, then we're going to skip over it today. And underneath here, we have help and support. Help and support, you can actually get to a couple ways. If I click on the words help and support right underneath it, you can see it gives me the option in the table of contents to click on contact the help desk. This has a phone number and an email. I recommend calling them. They're real people also. It's not one of the lines where you have to like yell representative, like representative. It's real people. So if you ever are having a problem with greenhouse, then call them. They can help you with that. And then right down below, there's even more support for different types of products. So you shouldn't have to do anything with Dash. That again is more admin related, but should you, for some reason, have a problem with it, it's all here. Same with the leads engine support. And one more item to show you. At the bottom right, just like we saw on Be Better University, Greenhouse, oh, is that me? Okay. I was like, the computer's doing stuff. So at the bottom right, you can see there's another, I don't think you can see it. There we go. There's another chat bubble here. So if you click on the chat bubble on Greenhouse, you'll notice this one doesn't have the BBU Help Center. BBU is the acronym that the team that designs the Greenhouse uses for Be Better University, just so we're clear on the alphabet soup here. So if I click call the help desk at the top here, it gives me all sorts of contact information again. I'll X out of it and go back to the chat bubble. And I want to show you one more thing, which is the bottom one where it says leave feedback. So click on leave feedback and I will guarantee that no one in here has seen this page before. If you have, I'll be pretty impressed. So this is a page where you can actually submit feedback to the designers of Greenhouse on the site. Does anyone use this? No, had a feeling. So what you're seeing here are opportunities where it says suggest an enhancement. So you can actually suggest an enhancement for them to make to the site. And then what you're seeing on the right side, what looks like a chat, right, is each one of these gives you a comment that somebody else has submitted with their suggestion for an enhancement. And then you see to the right of it, there's a number, right? So here we have the number 3 with an up arrow. So let's say that you go to this page and where it says SMS verification code, it says this new login feature negatively affects my ability to properly serve my clients. My administrative assistant has to wait hours, if not days, to gain access. blah, blah, blah. I won't open the whole thing, but let's say you agree with that. All you have to do is click on it and it's called upvoting. So I just upvoted it. Now it means there's 4 people that agree with that. So if you are having an issue, and let's say that you posted on there, this could be a good conversation for the green table. You say, it's driving me nuts that the site won't let me do this, or every time I try this, it does that. So you put it on here and then get everyone in your office to upvote it. Or everyone in Wine Country Group to upvote it. And then the design team will look at it and say, oh, all of a sudden, all these people like, yeah, are really having an issue with this thing. Maybe we should consider it. So just want you to know that there is really an opportunity to give direct feedback on the site, and it's up to you to share it with them. So if you're running into an error, then check it out here. And now all the way at the bottom, my greenhouse. This is really the same thing that we saw before at the beginning with the account at the top right. The only thing that's different in here that I want to show you is the third one, which is the calendar. So the calendar here is supposed to sync with the calendar on Be Better University. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But it also has all sorts of events that might be coming up here. So check this out for additional resources, fun stuff. And then the last one here under my greenhouse, I don't have a listing, so I'll skip that one, but this is a whole document library. Has anyone looked at this one before? No? Okay, great. By the way, I love when the answer is no. That just makes me so happy. I get really excited. So here what you can find are all sorts of documents created by BHGRE that you can use for yourself. So there are help guides, there are flyers, there anything that you can think of that you might want help with, or maybe you want to understand a product or a program more, everything lives here. So for example, they just put, or they just connected the IDX with bhgre.com. Did you know that? It was a huge improvement. So now we have IDX. If you don't know what IDX is, that means that we're streaming directly from MLS, so you can access it from your website. So Jana, also good for your crew. So this gives you an idea of how to set that up. This is all the contacts. And then it shows you here, for example, like BHGRE boost flyer, or Moxi websites. Here, I'll show you like Moxi Engage. Download that one. And then this gives me everything that I would need as like a basic flyer to help me. So if you haven't already gotten enough information, there's an entire library worth of resources available for you. And just to Randy's point before at the bottom, you'll see it says in the study done on 2020 productivity, agents who fully use Moxi Engage saw 64% more transactions on average than their peers. I could do 64% more business a year. I'd be okay with that. And that's the greenhouse. Questions? What's your favorite part? Or the one thing that blew your mind?
All of it.
All of it. It is.
Like a reminder too.
That's good.
It's amazing how like we have so many tools that we can learn about. Like sometimes when you don't have anything to do and you're like, what do I do? Learn about this.
Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
good. That's good.
Any inspiration for content, social posts, postcards, marketing campaigns?
Staging guides.
Ooh, staging guide. I love the staging guide.
I like making my own content.
Original.
I feel like I'm being able to, use some of that for social media. To go ahead and input it is huge. I didn't know that you can get into the LinkedIn through there. I mean, I assume that probably in my mind you could, but just opening it up is overwhelming because there's so much stuff. So I guess I can only speak for myself that, maybe like picking something and getting really good at it, because there's much that it's, and I feel for myself that when I go into it, I go to Moxi and that's about it, because all of the rest, I know that it's there, but it's just so much. And then I just start clicking stuff before you know it, I forgot what I was doing to begin with. So, I mean, it is a bit overwhelming, but thank you for being here.
Oh, my pleasure.
Is there a planning tool in the greenhouse?
Like a business planning tool?
No, like a social planning tool, because I feel like one of the things is that like she's saying, it is super overwhelming, right? It is, there's so many things and it's like, I wanna do I mean, I wrote like 37 things down, right? And I know better than that. So if you're trying to really gauge your time and say, oh, I'm gonna make this plan, then what tools could we use collaboratively and say, okay, this is how we're gonna break this down. In Q1, we're gonna be talking about getting your property listed. In Q2, we're gonna be talking about whatever that is. And then getting that content kind of mapped out, so it's not so overwhelming.
Yeah, they have a whole social media content guide on here. So if you go under social media and then the first one, social media overview, if you look in the virtual table of contents here and click on social media guides, it's going to find me there now. This gives you all sorts of guides, like a basic real estate agent's guide to social. They also have, I really like their hashtag infographic. So if you want to know like what hashtags to use with Better Homes and Gardens so that it's always coming up. They also have the social media flyer that shows you how to share information onto your social channels. And then I have seen in the past, I'll have to look for it because I'm not sure where it lives offhand, but I have seen a sample social media content calendar.
We have one, I just wanted to see if there was one that lived here, so if we're directing everyone here, it'd be cool if we had like a good space for that.
I thought
Now,
that
Marty,
they had ones, yeah.
Can't somebody go in and use the social media tool and schedule like a month out?
Yes.
And have it automatically upload on Facebook or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
tool that
Yes.
you're using?
That was-
That is, here we go. I thought that there was one. So it's living in the document library. So if you just search at the top for social or for content calendar, then they have a whole sample here. And this gives you, yeah, of course. I knew that it was in here somewhere.
I have
They move stuff around.
in Sonoma and in Petaluma. I change it each
Oh,
month.
cool.
You do?
So that the
Okay.
agents can, if they want.
You know, the 2024.
Well, guys, one, it's,
No, but
it's
I-
also taking advantage of your marketing team with Haley and Kylie there to help direct you to set this stuff up. But like Jana over here, you know, when she gave her social media class, she talked about in 3.5 hours, she did 60 videos, which I can't even imagine, and how many changes that was. You know, from hair, glasses to hair up, hair down, different clothes, the works. But, you know, she spent a day and 3.5 hours to get her in how, so those 60 videos, what does that mean in time? Is that first quarter? Is that 2 weeks? What does that look like?
So for me, I do things a little differently than you guys will do them because I have several groups, like I have your VHG group. So I make content ahead of time for your group. And then I have another real estate group. So I make content ahead that's not VHG geared, right?
Yeah.
And then I have like my regular social posts and some of it is for stories and some of it is for reels, etc. So I don't know, it's probably about 6 to 7 weeks.
Okay.
Of that video.
So think about taking these social media tools that you worked with today and sitting down and scheduling that for a month out, or I don't know how long it will let you go as far as scheduling, and have it automatically feed, because you know what? Even if you're not touching it, but it's out there, it's still going under your name, right? So is it better to have something out there than nothing? Makes sense?
But you can use, I think, to your point, you can make every single bit of content that's on here, you can make your own, just even if it doesn't have a photo of it, you can still write your own caption, right? So if just say you're gonna post about a styling guide to get ready, use your own voice, use your own words and include that in there, and they're still being able to relate with you. They're still having that connection with you.
Makes sense. Again, it's better to have something out in front there. Actually, one of our agents that always surprises me and is incredibly consistent with her stuff is Patty Markin, and she's not here today. But Patty has social media staff for Better Homes and Gardens on a regular basis, and she pops up in all different spaces for me, and that always impresses me. There's other people that do a lot of personal video and things like that I also see, but Patty uses, you know, just the numbers that, who puts out our number thing? Kylie, do you put that out? So the market updates and stuff like that, Patty brands those, gets those out. She has change of time, just different things. And again, the important thing is not being a secret agent, right? So if you can get together and start working with these tools and getting them out on a consistent basis, and what I'm going to tell you is consistency. You know, it is so important. In my career, when I was an active agent and I was doing full page ads in magazines, you know, you had to be consistent.
Be $600, what is it now?
It's like 800.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not actually not much difference, but you know, if you didn't do it consistently for a long period of time, then you're wasting your money. You know, only once, it's not gonna do you any good. So whether indoors, whatever, you have to be consistent about your marketing plan. And I'm not saying one thing is better than the other. I'm saying find what you're good at, find what you're able to get real estate conversations about, and do it more often because your raise is effective when you are, right? So find what works, keep doing it, and give yourself a raise. Make sense?
Yes.
Thank you for saying yes. You get a gold star.
Okay.
You get to have 3 tacos today.
Actually, I was about to say something. I was looking at the marketing tools in Spanish and they're outdated. The
Good feedback, thank you.
yeah, so like the house trends, it's 2022.
Oh, I'll let them know,
So, yes.
thank you,
Let them know.
I will,
Ooh,
thank you.
that's not good.
Yeah, so I just 2 tacos now.
Picture the 2-year difference, yeah.
Marley was laughing because she said she was writing down yesterday some of Randy's sayings.
Yes, the
So-
Randyisms.
Randyisms.
All right, how are you guys doing? Are you ready to start a little Moxie or are you sufficiently overwhelmed? All right.
We're gonna
let's-
have lunch here at 1, so go ahead and it's okay to start getting hungry any moment.
All right, so we're gonna start with Moxie Engage, but again, first, very important question. Can you all get into Moxie?
So is it in the greenhouse?
Yes, you can
Okay.
get there.
So
I'll
we're
share
close.
it.
So
Okay,
we're already close.
yes, you're warm, you're warm. Let me open up my,
We can get in agent tools and then. we-
yes. Mine looks different than yours, just because it doesn't show up, but hold on, I'll share. All right, so if you're trying to get to Moxie, again, mine's going to look different, but on the left side on agent tools, click on that. And then click on the first option, which says Moxie Works. You should have a blue button that pops up there. Mine won't have it, but you should have a blue button that says
So just
log
this
in to
one,
Moxie.
the first one.
Mhm. Is that right? Is that what
Yeah.
you see? Okay, awesome. So I have a, what's it called? Like sample account, like a test user account. So I'm gonna use that. So you'll see this is my test user here.
So then you want us to go to the blue box that
Yeah.
log in?
Mhm. And we're gonna start with Moxie Engage. So now that we're here, I'll show you a few ways that we can get there. So in the gray bar, and again, mine might look a little bit different than yours, just because it's a test account. And I'm gonna change to agent mode. Hang on. Is everyone there? Yes, okay. So just so I know where we're at, how many of you have already? Yes, okay. Didn't even finish the question. How many of you have migrated your CRM or added contacts into Engage?
Well, I haven't done everything.
Okay.
obviously.
A few.
A few,
Mhm.
okay. So my plan for us would be to go over, how many of you have connected your email to Engage or to Moxie? Let's start with that. Who still needs to connect their email?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
I don't know, I mean, if I have.
All right, good. That's why I wanna ask the important questions
Obviously,
first.
I've done something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so your
absolutely,
dash is
but- I haven't
connected.
had a picture either,
That's
but I
good.
don't know.
You have your headshot on there?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. All right, we're getting warmer.
Oh, there.
Okay, that's good. Who manages Dash in this office? Okay,
When,
When you're in Moxie and somebody emails you back in Moxie, if you don't have it connected, so you have to go into Moxie to get that email?
well, it should be connected, so you'd probably see it in your email also. If it, otherwise you wouldn't be able to get the email to Moxie.
I don't know.
All right, so here's my plan.
Is there a way to check to see if Kendra's
We
connected?
don't see anything.
So she's,
I know, I know.
Kylie
Thank
has
you.
a bunch of yeses.
Trying to like
Yeah.
back up a little bit, see where we're at. All right, so I wanna start just with some basic setup of Moxi Engage, if you're all on board with that, so that we can see how to upload contacts, categorize them, set them up on some subscriptions. And the goal here is really to find ways to maximize your sphere of influence.
Sounds
On
good.
board?
On board.
Yes, leads? All right, here we go. So I'm gonna skip this part. We're already logged in.
So I'm still under engage.
Yes, we're under engaged. I'm gonna share my screen. We normally keep so quick.
So mine, if I want to sync with Moxi Engage, it only gives me two choice of email providers.
Mhm.
I'm neither.
Outlook or Gmail.
Gmail or Office.
Yeah, so you'll have to either create one or the other. Gmail's the easiest. I'd go for that because then you can set it up with a YouTube account and it's just an easier platform to use.
Oh my goodness, you can follow along.
Yeah, totally. And if not, yeah, you can watch, oh, sorry, that's super blurry, right?
So we're going somewhere else now?
We are going to
Engage.
engage. Sounds like Star Trek. Engage. Let me see if I can make this bigger. It's less blurry. Okay, that's better. Don't worry about all the details. It's really just a sample. Let me make it just a tad bigger for all of us. As fun as it is to read blurry words. All right, that's better. Yes?
Yes.
All right, cool. So when you get to the agent dashboard, what you're going to see here might look different than mine because you can reorder any of the items that you see on the right-hand column. So mine starts with stay and flow. Then you have, for mine, sales flow, activity feed, to-do list. Are you all seeing that?
Yep.
Yes, okay. So you can change it and it can look however you want it to be, or however you want it to look. And then as we go down a little bit further, you see how these 4 people pop up. There's actually 5 people that pop up every day. And you see there's a scroll bar at the bottom. So if I scrolled it to the right, someone chose violence. If I scroll it to the right, it will show me one more person. At the bottom, so follow the red circles or red squares that you're gonna see. This shows me that I can reach out to them. So if I reach out, there's different ways that I could do that. So go ahead and just click on a reach out button. Has everyone gotten to where we are here? Yes?
So you
Some
pick
yes?
one of your prospects,
Yeah,
or whatever.
Just anyone, just as a
Okay.
sample.
Gotcha.
So when you click on the reach out button, it gives you multiple ways that you can connect them. And I shared yesterday, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Moxi Works cannot write personal notes for you. So you'll have to do the actual writing. I know. But what you can do is check off, you can call, you can email, you can send them neighborhood news, campaigns, you could do text message. And maybe you want to say, you know what, I already chatted with them yesterday, so I can also mark it as done, or I can skip this person and be like, no, I'm over them. Yes.
What if you only have just the word call?
Oh, that's okay. It's probably because you don't have other contact information there for them.
Oh,
So if you don't have their address,
Okay,
then it won't give you, because if I click on the note for where it says mail personal note, it will show me their address or multiple addresses. Same thing with email. All right, so now that we have different ways that we can stay in flow with them, let's go to the next section, which is our activity feed. So
I forget how to
Sure.
add the prospects.
Oh, we're gonna go through that.
Okay, all right.
You mean the contacts? Just, okay, yeah, awesome. You
Guys,
can definitely
remember,
do that.
they've shown that people that use CRMs and have automatic follow-ups increase their income about $40,000 a year.
62%, Randy.
62%, I haven't heard a percentage, but yesterday I was asking for a percentage.
60% of our business comes from our CRM.
Does it?
60%.
60%, so that's right in there. Good job, Miss Numbers Girl.
Yeah, good job. All right, so now you're on the activity feed. This is going to show what recent activity you've had with your sphere of influence. That way you can kind of keep track of it. It's also good if you're sharing your Moxi, like if you have someone who you allow to go into your Moxi, if you have a partner or an admin and they're using it too, then they can see what you've done. The only thing is, just like with any other CRM, the best CRM is the one that you use, right? Which means that you have to take the time to input any updates too.
So basically Moxie Works is a CRM,
Yes,
Yes.
well, Moxi Engage is the CRM
Gotcha.
within it.
but it's in Moxie Works.
Yes,
Yeah.
so MoxiWorks is the name of the software, and then under MoxiWorks, there's various softwares. And so Moxi Engage is the first one that we're looking at, and that's so you can engage
year.
with your clients. Get it?
Okay, makes sense.
Yes.
Yes,
So the people that are showing up in mine are, I don't even know how they got in here, but they're like admin people.
Okay.
How did they get in there? I
maybe
didn't-
you added that in,
No,
prior?
I know nothing.
Maybe someone else
Jan,
added?
Jan is in here as a new.
Oh, hello.
I'm gonna send you a handwritten note.
I
Aw.
hope you do. Who knows?
I hope you do
It's not
too.
an outfit.
Haley's in here, like, I don't know how these people got in
I don't know
It
either.
might be
but-
some sort of automated.
Or they're just sneaky.
Yeah, it might, if, when you were setting it up, it probably pulled it directly from your email, so it's the contacts from your emails. Do you use Outlook
They're not.
or Microsoft 365?
What do I use?
So it probably pulled
Your
from your
VH
email contacts.
Your BHG is a 365 Outlook.
Hmm.
So
You can
it
look at it,
could,
Sherry.
it could have
Try
pulled,
it out.
it could have pulled from
Because
Outlook.
there's a Stacy Ankrum who's with Fidelity, who was the person escrow officer on our last deal, but I didn't.
Well, if you emailed with her from one of your accounts because of AI today, it probably automatically saved and then pulled it in. That's why when you get calls at you with an iPhone, you know, how sometimes you get calls and it says like maybe with the name, it's like maybe so-and-so, you're like, how did you know that? It's because everything is connected, basically. They can hear what you're saying. Or thinking. All right, so we're in the activity feed, and now the next one that I have, again, in my order, yours might be different, is the to-do list. So there's actually two sections within the to-do list. There's there's my tasks, which is like me, Marley, what I need to do for myself. And then right below that are the transaction tasks. The transaction tasks are specific to the transaction that you're working on. So maybe it's like arrange photographer, set up inspection, follow up on addendum, whatever it is. But my tasks might be like stuff I need to do to build my pipeline or my social post or whatever else that I would be needing to do for my business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I know it sounds like synonyms. Jana, did you have a question?
I was just gonna ask if there's preloaded lists to put for whatever that might be, like, for example, I have a listing, I'm representing a buyer, or whatever that is that available in there?
Yeah, so I'll show you when you create a new contact so they actually, MoxiWorks calls it a marketing plan,
Okay.
but really what it is a communication plan between you and the client. So it's just a different way of categorizing it, but it's the same concept. So as we go down further, this is what it looks like when you go into the transaction tasks. What I like about this is that you can set up the dates for it, and you see how it has the blue little face image and then a name. It correlates directly to the contact. So it shows me who that transaction is for. So that way you can associate it together. So the transaction tasks are directly associated with your contact. And then you can customize it by going even further to the sales flow. So the sales flow shows me everything that's going on in my business right now. So you see on the left here, I have one person that's in the marketing phase, 3 prospects I'm working with right now, 0 actives and 0 pendings.
How did you get from the page that you were in?
So you see on the right side here, I have stay in flow, sales flow, activity feed, to-do list. So the next one underneath it is sales flow. So you can reorder it for yourself, some people like to have sales flow on top as the first thing, so they can pat themselves on the back, or it's like a good motivation. I personally, when I set this up for myself, I like to have the to-do list on top. I want to just know what I have to get done for the day. That's just my personal best practice.
And you look at it every day.
I do, yeah. I'm too ADD not to, but I also need reminders to do that. Like you'll hear actually in 5 minutes, my alarm go off. So that's my mantra alarm. That's every day. It's my 3:45 here, 12:45. So now this is the calendar also right below it. The calendar, again, is associated with any of the to-do items that you've set up based on your clients. So this is all related. You can see it says like schedule buyer's presentation review, schedule meet and greets. So everything is connected. That's the beauty of it. Just like my iPhone syncs with my computer. So if I type the notes on my iPhone, then it goes directly to my computer. And that is why I'm an Apple customer and why I can never leave them. All right, now on the next one, if you scroll down further, you'll see I personally don't have any listings, but does anyone here have listings that are showing up on their Moxi account? Yes, all right. So in your listings, this is where you'll see all of your current and sold listings that are associated with your MLS. And right from here, you can send out listing announcements and just sold announcements. This is a very important point and also important to connect with Haley. Is it? Yes. Okay, connect with Haley. Make sure that your contact information is correct in Dash. Your contact information is correct in Dash, because once you get a listing and it gets loaded into Dash, you should receive an email that invites you to do automatic marketing for your property. You can also do boost ads. It gives you 3 days free worth of boost ads. And then if you want to go further, have it last longer, then you can do that for a small fee. But you have to manually accept. And in order to do that, you have to have your contact information set up on Dash. So.
And where is Dash? Is that the?
That is a
place where-
separate,
Oh,
that's a whole other land, not even a world. So talk to Haley, she knows. And so once I have everything in here, I also, just like we talked about before with Ari's scoreboard, I also have an opportunity to set up my goals for the year in here. So if this is a conversation that you're having with your broker, your manager, your mentor, yourself, your accountability partner, whoever, you can set up your goal here and that will tell you how close that you are to that. Now, just to show you, if you look at the red box here or the red rectangle, this gives you an opportunity to reorder them. So if you use the arrows, you can drag and drop the boxes and it will move. So let me show you. Hold on.
so we left something, I think.
Which one, and I can go back to it.
Box.
Oh, no, I
Yeah. Hers is outlined.
Hold on. Da-da-da-da-da.
So how do these
All right.
transactions get in here through the MLS?
Through Dash.
Through Dash.
So as long as you're set up with your contact info in Dash, then it will pull directly to Moxi. And that's why your headshot and your contact information appears here. Because you didn't input it, it just pulled directly. So you see on the right-hand side, I have sales flow, right? So if I just click on it and drag it and drop it, then it
Oh,
moves the
becomes
orders
the
around for
top.
me. Yeah,
Gotcha.
so like I would put to-do list at the top and now it shows me my to-do list. I personally like having my to-do list up top on the test account. I have been told that I need to keep the sales flow on top. So I'm just following
Sales
instructions.
flow or staying flow? you mean?
Yeah, either. I usually get in trouble. They're like, Marley, did you use the test account again? I'm like, nope. So that's the way that they like to have it set it up. You can set it up in whatever way works best for you. If you've never used it before, try and mix it up, see which one speaks to you the most. But like I said, for me, I like the to-do list. I just want to be told what to do. I also like the stay and flow one because it's just like, these are the 5 people you need to contact like right now. So that is also a good option to start. Yes.
So this is towards the individual, not like if you're with a team.
Yes.
So it's, okay.
Mhm.
But could you set it up as a team if you wanted, where you can see each other?
I believe that it's only available as the individual ones. And so now we're going to go into setting up the people. So at the top, under the word engage, you'll see the word people. Do you see that?
Yes.
Click on the word people, and I want you to think people, my people. All right. So you'll always go to people, my people.
People, my people.
People, my people.
I remember that.
Mhm.
All right.
And let me-
Gotcha.
probably Michelle.
Okay.
She did a training for us and I was like, I love listening to you. I'm stealing that. She also had another thing I'll pull out that I was like, I love that. this is the TCPA obligations. It's the do not call list. So just pay attention that if you are reaching out to people, that you're making sure that they're not on the do not call list, or that you have permission to contact them so that we can do more trainings with you in the future. All right, so now you're in People My People. This is where your contacts live. So there's a few ways that you can add your contacts in here. Going forward, it's recommended that you continue to add anyone that you know from your sphere. So if you meet someone, add in their contact information when you get it. They can be personal contacts, they can be business associates, and I'll show you how you can add them manually and also categorize them. So there's two ways that you can categorize them. One is into groups and then one is into tags or with tags. Has anyone done groups or tags yet? Started. Okay, cool. So this will make your life so much easier. It's tedious up front. I'm not going to deny that. But once you get it set up, it's so much easier to send out like a group email. So People My People, I'm going to, so at the top right, so it has little stars next to it. Can you see that? That's called the categorize wizard. That's why it has little stars next to it. So the categorize wizard is going to help you work through your list so that you can assign people to any appropriate campaigns, like email campaigns. So I'm just going to give you a minute right now. Click on categorize wizard and check out the different options that it comes up with. If you haven't added in contacts yet, you can look at a friend's laptop or just hang out for a minute and we'll get back in just a second.
So is it just clients or non-clients?
And you might have some duplicates in there. Sometimes people see that. So no she doesn't. Wow.
Question for you,
Yes.
because I'm out getting food ready. But the do not call list, does it give you a list of who's do not call?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, so you still have to take that
Yes.
next step. Okay,
The food is here.
food is here.
Okay, I'm gonna pause.
You're gonna pause?
Yes.
Marley's hungry.
No. I don't want angry people. Dana?
Customize the tags or are you
Yeah.
the ones that are there?
No, that's just for the categorize wizard, but you can add your own tags.
Everybody ready?
Matching me plan.
Oh.
Yeah, see,
You guys can't get Nick dance. That's good luck.
Everybody come up.
there's an extra spot up here, Alicia had.
So, gang, are we learning something?
Yes.
Yes, all kinds of things to utilize. What am I learning?
Learning
Well,
today, Brandy.
I am very happy to see people engaged. So anything that creates engagement.
Today, if you were to open up your computer, what would you do today?
There is so much I could do, but not as much as I can do right here, right now.
I mean, Moxie and Press, Moxie and Day.
Well, there's a good chance that the story that I talked about, the young lady that I coached for so many years, that Moxie, her dad always opens up my Moxie stack. And so, not that she wouldn't have come to me anyways, but they were getting notifications through Moxie, my real estate stuff, and I could see that Michael was always opening it. So can I say again, I might have gotten it anyways, probably, but having them engage in Moxie didn't hurt me.
So that's the CRM with all the prospects that you could send an email out to everybody.
Yes.
Or a flyer out to everybody. Do you-
I've
do you-
got 1,300 prospects that are
that
are
Shannon-
in,
No,
yes.
no.
that
But like,
that Alicia.
that if you reach out to somebody, like, let's just say you're sending something to me, right?
Yeah.
And then like, I'm not in real estate, I'm not in mortgage, whatever. And somebody says to me like, oh my gosh, I'm looking for a realtor. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, I get the best stuff from this realtor that I know. So every time you're touching whoever that is, they're a potential referral
Yeah.
partner. It doesn't mean it's them, they may never transact with you again. But if you give them so much value, whether it's in your drip or whether it's in your emails and or when you're speaking with them.
I'm not really sure how to use drip. Yeah.
You'll learn. We can help
Oh,
you.
we're doing that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, no.
So,
right.
you know, some of the, in just saying for myself and my career, there was generally about 50 people. You don't have to have like 1,300 people, but my 50 people would consistently work yearly on referring me business. And it's not about having a huge mega database, it's having people that are A-type contacts that think of you when they think of real estate, but out of sight, out of mind. There's nothing worse than driving down your street for somebody that you talked to for 20 years, and all of a sudden you see somebody else's real estate sign, and you go, why didn't you talk to me? Oh, I didn't know you were in real estate.
I would never say that to somebody, why didn't you talk to me? I think that's like a professional thing you can say this.
But it happens.
I know.
It happens, and you're like going, why did I not get the listing? Or why did they not talk to me? But it's because you're a secret agent.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
No, I don't disagree with you, but the thing is, if you're out of sight, out of mind.
Sure.
You gotta tell me. Yes.
Let's get started.
Okay, you guys ready? Who's down there? Who's down there?
No one's down there.
Oh, they're not?
Nope, you're good.
Are you sure to God?
Too bad for them if they are.
All right. Previously on.
Those kind of folks work open too.
So we were in People My People. Yes. All right. So we started to talk about the categorized wizard. This is how you can, is it Kathy?
Yes.
Okay. So this is to Kathy's question. Once you categorize people, this is going to help you set them up on campaigns, like email campaigns. So now I want to show you in the categorized wizard, you see on the red rectangle at the top right. So when I click on it, it gives me all sorts of options to categorize. So I have a past seller, buyer, it tells me all about them. And then to take it a step further, I can categorize people like this. So Kathy had already opened this before. When I click on the categorize wizard, it gives me the chance to categorize them as a client or a non-client, right? And then I can even take it a step further. So Jana, this was your question about the to-do list. So once I click on them, let's say that I click clients, it gives me these 4 options, or well, 3 options over here. So the top left one where it says create marketing plan, it's not really a marketing plan. It's really a to-do list of a communication plan between you and that
Are
client.
we under campaigns right now?
We are under People My People,
Oh, people my.
People My People, and then categorize wizard. So you can choose how you want to interact with them and then how you want to build that to-do list with them. I'll show you later, there are other types of to-do lists, we'll call them for our purposes, where you can add that as well. And then if I go back to People My People, in the red rectangle, it gives me the option to edit groups. So maybe you want to have a group like this past Sunday's open house, or people that you met from soccer, or people you met randomly at Starbucks,
Or
people
your
you met at a
VIPs,
holiday party.
right? Your VIPs.
Yeah.
Like we will have a party, but we're not gonna host everyone we ever had in our database. We only want the VIPs invited, those people.
And maybe you want to categorize them into multiple groups so that you have people that are looking to buy who are also your VIPs. So as you go through the groups, it gives you all sorts of options, right? So we have,
Name your own groups.
yep, we've got the pet people, the farm people, the pet lover people. We've got Michelle, who also teaches Moxi. She has the dinosaur lovers group. No.
Jeez,
No.
loves old people. That's-
My nephew is 3, so I went to him, like, anyway, so. Now, looking at my People My People, you can also group people by your farm area. So let's say they want to give them updates about what's going on in their neighborhood or in their community or zip code or whatever it is. So you can also do that and then set them up on something like neighborhood news. So has anyone used neighborhood news yet? One in the back?
The neighborhood news is.
You get to tell them about it. Consumer education. All right, so I'm gonna show you how to set someone up. I don't really love the images here, so I'm gonna show you my own way. Sorry, don't tell them I did that. All right, give me 1 sec. I know you can't see anything. I'm gonna share it in 1 second. People, my people.
I'm sure.
All right, so I'm in People My People. There's a couple ways that you can add a new contact. That's what people means. It's contacts, prospects, however you want to categorize them. I can click on or scroll over people, and in the green box right there where it says add people, I can do it right from there. Or on the right-hand side, there's another green box that says add people. I can do a single contact or import contacts, meaning a bulk upload. So let's do the single contact first. It's less complicated. So I'm gonna make up a person. We'll call them Sonoma Valley.
Can we do you?
Sure. You can add me if you want. I'll put my contact here. And I prefer English, so we'll leave it at that. My number is 561-212-6194.
She just gave you her phone, so make sure you write that down.
I'm gonna add an email because I don't want a home email address. I want the work email. So here's the work email. It's marley.cole@anywhere.re. And I don't feel like putting in a home address. I'd rather communicate with this person over email or text. I know that they're going to appreciate that more. But maybe I want to go down and add some more personal information for them, like what is my relationship? So maybe I'd say, let's go with custom, because we always love seeing what's different. So we'll say work, or actually, this is what I put everyone in my phone. I title them as agent. So that's where Randy comes up, Randy, agent. So, okay. And because I want to stay in touch with Marley on a regular basis, I'm going to add some important dates, like her house anniversary. So I've been in real estate now for 10 years. I still reach out to people that were past clients of mine, even though I don't sell actively anymore, just to say like happy house anniversary. I can't believe that we bought your house 8 years ago. Like that's amazing.
Start to sell again, you haven't lost.
That's right. So today's my house anniversary. You can all wish me mazel tov on the closing. Thank you. Thank you. And then I have all my social media down here. So I'm going to guess my LinkedIn offhand. We'll say it's LinkedIn.com. I'm gonna guess it's my name because I'm probably that organized. And I'm going to leave this bottom part. I'm gonna designate myself as I'll say a collaborator, but I want to show you what that means. So learn more. Has anyone looked at that before? What collaborator versus personal means? So can
I think I may have, but I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but.
So
Could it be like a property manager or different?
yeah, and if you, sorry? Yeah, and if you've added them in that way, then they wouldn't be someone that you could do a transaction with, so you don't have to choose that. But maybe I want to put it as a past seller, just so that I have an opportunity to connect in the future. All right, it doesn't like my LinkedIn profile, but you get the hint. I can put in the social posts, right? So now I'm going to click done. And what it's going to do is create a profile for Marley. So now it gives me, has anyone used TurboTax? Yeah, so you know how it like walks you through with the images when you do it? This is kind of what MoxiWorks does also. So I'm going to decide that Marley is now a client, and here we go. This brings us to the create marketing plan. If I click on create marketing plan, it gives me four options: past seller, past buyer, past seller and buyer, or none of these, because I'm a new client, right? So none of them, but this is for Jana. I can create a plan right from here, and there's different types of tasks that are already preloaded. So this already exists in there. But the cool thing about it is you can change the date on it. So I can add subscriptions from here. I can tell myself when those tasks are due. And again, it's more like a communication plan with that client. I can also add a task that's not in here. So if I do something special, like people do the pie giveaway, or, like give me another holiday thing.
That's the primary one.
Okay, so we'll call it a pie giveaway.
What's a pie giveaway?
Oh,
I think you give pies to a bunch of
Yeah,
people.
Jana Adams will do at least 100, and she sets a pop-up, and she finds out ahead of time, do you want berry or pumpkin, and then they come right before Thanksgiving.
That's a good idea.
yeah, so let's say I'm doing a pie pop-up. I can say that it's an hour and a half. It's happening. We'll make it tomorrow. And I want to also add it to my calendar, and then I'll click save. And now I've just added this, and it will show up on my calendar. So all of these are different options that you have for yourself. And it, again, will show you things like mail a personal note. So it's not going to mail the personal note for you. This is yours.
It's just gonna tell you that it's on
Yes.
for a personal note.
Exactly. And you can also edit it once you're in here. Questions?
So back to pie giveaway.
Yes.
So when you're putting it in there, is that so something goes out media wise to that client that we just added?
This
about
is
the
more
pie
like
giveaway?
your to-do list for that client.
So you were adding yourself as a,
Yep.
okay, I'm confused, because I thought we were adding.
So can
a
you
client.
create
So it was
then,
create a plan.
can you create a plan? So just say, for example, I want to have a to-do list or whatever we're gonna call it, a communication list, and this is gonna be for buyers. And every buyer, I know I need to schedule a home inspection. I need to check in with the lender about the appraisal, et cetera. Can I do that and then save that? So that's there every time as one of the options?
So as far as I've seen, what people have done is they've created their own like checklist on the
Yeah.
side, and then they've edited the one that pops up here. So I know what you're asking is like
Okay, I
create
get it.
one in advance.
Yep.
This
But
is
Moxie
not-
wouldn't default to yours, but you can you can.
I can add in my
manipulate-
tasks manually, but there
Yes.
isn't a way to make it so that it's a preset thing
Right.
at this time.
Yes.
Got it.
But I've asked the same thing also. But what you can do is I just made myself a prospect. So let's go through the buyer one since you mentioned buyer.
And where do you change your prospect to say, I don't know, from church,
Oh,
whatever.
that's on the
Somewhere
previous
else.
page where it says relationship. So
Okay.
you can write in a custom one and you can just write in
Gotcha.
church. Yeah. So that's how, so I'll remember how we met. This is like creating a mini MLS profile for your client on here. So you know what they're looking for. And again, keep this like loose, right? Because this always changes where people think they want something and they don't want it, right? I had a person, they wanted a white kitchen, open floor concept. It took them to the house, white kitchen, open floor concept, like, ugh, I hate it. Awesome. Great. You can also add other clients' names associated with this. So for example, yesterday I was going through a bulk upload with one of the agents. We were pulling her contacts from MLS and she had two people's names listed under the same contact, but they had different last names. So I was explaining how you have to have two different contacts, but you can still connect them here. So I think yesterday I named them Eureka. Yeah. So my fake contact from yesterday was Eureka Ming. So I can connect my profile with Eureka's profile. So now I know I'm associated with Eureka. And then you can add, if you had more details, maybe you don't want to write just church, maybe it was like church event for Christmas on 12/24 or whatever.
I just mean like, when you want to do a group email to
Oh, that's,
everybody.
we'll do that too.
Okay.
Yes. So now I've added all the details. I'll click done. This is the easy stuff. It's really just like filling in the blanks, right? But as you can see at the top here, it's now putting me in the prospect zone, right? So when I go to my main dashboard, like we saw at the beginning, now I've just added another prospect. And if details down here, this is all of the details that we put in, right? Now on the left side of the page, if I scroll down, under subscriptions, you can click add subscriptions. And it gives us two options. One is neighborhood news and the other are listing announcements. So if you haven't heard of neighborhood news before, it goes out every month. So today is the 12th. So the next time it will go out will be January 12th. And you can set it up for someone's zip code or a custom area that you draw with a pen, just like you would on MLS. So I'll show you a subscription. And this gives them all of the market updates and market watch information that they would want for their specific area. So I can click add, and I usually go for the zip code just because it's faster.
It's quick and easy.
It is, and it gives you in here, what you see is their boiler template paragraph. So if you want to change it, you have to change it now before you go to the next step. That's the only trick here. You can't wait until you've already saved it. So if I wanted to change any of the text here, this is where I would do it. There is also room to add other information though. I just want you to know that. I'm just gonna put in a Florida one so that it brings me to my area because I know that one, and I'll click done. Now give it a minute. It's going to load my neighborhood news and I'll show you what it looks like. So I can preview it. And this is what it comes out every month. It's super professional. It's a great way to stay in touch with people. Easy, low lift. You set it and forget it once you connect with someone. So this shows me what's been going on in the past 12 months in that specific zip code. Gives me any market changes, median prices, days on market, all the basic information that you would want. And the best part is that it has my headshot and my contact information at the bottom of the page, so they love seeing my face and get used to it. All right, so that is neighborhood news. Now let's set up one more subscription. So if I click add for subscriptions, I can also set up listing announcements, meaning if I'm getting listings, then I want my contacts to be notified about it. Maybe I don't, but probably do, right? So I can click add subscription. And now I can decide, do I want them to be notified every time I have a just listed property or a just sold, both, neither? And you can manually add that. I click done. And I just added the email subscription for the listings. Now, every time listing, they'll get a notification. Easy, right? All right. Now, everyone's favorite. So add to groups. And that are right. So I have an import that years ago, my farm to any of the groups that are on here just by clicking on it. So you can see it just highlights it in green, and then I get a check mark and I click done. Ta-da, they're in my groups. And you're probably saying, well, what if I don't want them in any of those groups? What if I want to start a new group? So you would go to people, my people, and we'll go to edit groups. And here you can create a new group. So if you wanted, like, we'll go with Jana's VIP group. I can create it right here. And now I save it. And now going forward, I can add anyone that I want to my VIP group.
Can we create a holiday Christmas postcard that just gets emailed to everybody?
Mhm. That under campaigns, and in the campaigns, you can send it out to groups.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so, and how do we know that they even opened the email?
It shows you the open rate, just like on MailChimp. And you can also see like who unsubscribed and all the fun analytics with that.
Yeah.
You know, good to know like what's landing, right? What's not landing. All right, so that is, actually, I'll go back to people, my people. And then I won't go into the details on it just because I know everybody keeps their contacts in a different place, but just to show you how you would upload as a group. So if I had a group of contacts, whether it's from my phone or MLS, or I keep them on an Excel spreadsheet or a stack of business cards, however you have it, you'll click add people and then import contacts. Has anyone gone through this stage yet? Yes, some yes, most no.
You know, I looked at this and it was sort of like, I think they wanted it in the Excel format, first name, last name, street address, city, state, and zip, and that's what they wanted, right? In that
I'll pull it
order?
up right now. So in the top in the blue text, it says download this CSV file. So once you download it, it's going to give you a sample of how they want you to set up your contacts. So you can just mimic that in Excel, or if you're creating it in Google Sheets, then you can just download it. So here it gives me, sorry, it's probably teeny tiny for you. So it has first name, middle name, last name, company, etc. If you don't have a specific piece of information like their middle name, just leave it blank, but don't delete that column. Just leave it open.
Gotcha.
So once you create your CSV file, all you have to do is click the green box to select file, and then you just upload it straight from here. So I would choose my file and upload it, and it adds all the information automatically. I have to create a fake one so that we can, I'll show you all the way through.
And if you download an Excel spreadsheet of people, you name that entire group a certain name.
Yeah, so one of the groups that I have here is called imported on 9/15/21.
Gotcha.
So you could do that.
Okay.
That's what I used to do when I also was partnered with a top agent at one point in my career, and we would upload everything, and she wanted to know like which was the most up to date. So that's how we would save it. All right, so that is Moxi engaged so far. I'm gonna pause on the campaigns for now because I just want to show you, and before you get to leave, I want to show you a couple of presentations that you could do, whether you're working with buyers or sellers. Sound good?
Yeah.
Actually, let's go to
And does it cost us money to send emails with postcards to people?
with postcards.
I
or you
mean,
have
like
to
just
pay if you.
just email.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So we're going to go into Moxi Present. So that's the top left one in the gray bar. So this is another one of the softwares built into Moxi. You've used this before? A little bit.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of Moxie. I'm a little jaded because I work for another real estate company.
That's okay. So in Moxie Present, this is an opportunity for you to create presentations. That's why I remember these. I know that sounds silly, but that's why I remember it. So if you click on the blue button at the top right, it'll allow you to create a new presentation. There's two that I want to show you today. One, that's the seller's one, so we're going to start with that one. And then the second one we'll do as a buyer tour. So click on the circle next to the word seller, and then click continue at the bottom right. I'm going to go with the default template that it chooses, just because that's the easiest one for now, but you might have other templates available if you check in the Dropbox. So I'm going to leave this one for now, click continue at the bottom right. And here's an opportunity for you to customize the presentation so that it can be your client's name, or maybe it's like, we'll call it the Watt family. And so maybe that's what you want to have as your customization. People love seeing their names. They love knowing that you did this specially for them, and wait till you see what it turns into. So the listing source, mine's going to look different than yours because this is the test account. So it has a New Jersey one, I think. But yours should have, what is your?
Varies.
Okay, thank you. And then I leave it defaulted to the total square feet also. And at the bottom right, click create and give it a second, just be patient. Now what it's going to do is come up with all of the pages that are part of the seller's presentation. What they're calling a seller's presentation is what we would call a listing presentation. So that includes a CMA, and it also includes any other PDFs that you want to upload to it. So as you can see at the top, I already have the presentation name, and then I can copy data directly from MLS. So let's say I'm going to a listing and that property has been listed on MLS in the past. Instead of me typing in all the information manually, I can just pull it from an expired or closed listing. But best practice, always check to make sure that the information is correct. I can also search for a specific contact so that I can select who I want it to go to. So let's say I want it to go to Eureka Ming. So now it will go to Eureka, and Eureka is associated with this project. All right. Now I can select an address for the property. All right. That's interesting. And then it will give me all the information that I would generally pull from MLS: bedrooms, bathrooms, property information. And then once I have it all set up, I'm just going to choose a fake address. Yep, that's why.
Listing presentation is not in MLS yet,
Right, but if it was on MLS, like
before.
yeah, you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have to, but
Gotcha.
otherwise I would pull from like tax records or just put in as much information as I could, but you don't have to put in any information that you don't have. All right, so this is my property. I'm going to go down and click continue. Sure. We'll make it her home address. I feel like Eureka Ming is a girl.
Sounds girlish.
Right? I don't know. All right, so this is just a address that I know in the area, so I'm just going to zoom out and grab some other properties nearby. But if you're putting in an address in your area, it's going to populate with all of the listings in that area. Mine is just a test account, so it's not as inclusive. You can also search a couple other ways. You can search just by price or by beds and baths. They pull those two out of the other filter section just because those are the most commonly used. That's why. If I click on filters, then it looks more like MLS, where I'm going in and just adding in as many filters as possible. So I'm just going to keep it open. And this is what I was talking about with Randy earlier with the stoplight. So right now I can only see green and one gray, but the colors on here are done just like a stoplight. So green means active, yellow means pending, red means off market or sold, not available. Gray is canceled. So anything that you see here, let's say that I want to show, I'm going to create a CMA, but it's not really a CMA. I'm really just showing my client what's on the market right now in their area. That's what we're going to pretend I'm doing. All right. So in order to add a property from here, I'll just highlight it and click on the plus sign. You see, as I go over it, that plus sign appears on the thumbnail image. Yes. All right. So I'm going to click. We'll do 3 of them. I like this one better. And I'm going to click continue at the bottom right. You can also go through the pages by clicking at the top here. So see how it goes subject property, then search, then listings. I can also skip ahead and click to estimate. So you don't always have a button, just as another way to manage it. Now, as you can see here, we have our traffic light colors, right? So we have the green, the red. Property gets the star. Now I have my 3 listings here. What I could do, let's say that I want to add some remarks on there. So this one gives me all of the details about the property that were written by the agent, but maybe I want to say like awesome location and neighborhood. That way, when I share this with my seller, they get to see additional comments. So you can actually add that on there too. And I can also add or make any adjustments that I want. So maybe, you know, they added an extension or they built a deck or whatever you can't see online. You can also add that, add adjustments. And these are all of the ones that are pulling from MLS. But let's say that you have a property that's a pocket listing, right? Randy just told me the other day he had a listing that he was telling, I don't know if it was your office or the other office, but he was telling everybody about it at a sales meeting and somebody found a buyer for it before it hit the market. Did you guys hear about that one? So let's say that you had a listing like that. It's not on the market, but you want it to be on here as a comp. So I click add custom listing and it's going to walk me through the steps, just like if I were adding a new listing to MLS, and then I can just add a new listing right from here. So I have a pocket listing. I can even add a picture to it and create that pocket listing right here. So I'm not going to do that right now. We'll go back to the listings. And then the last thing that you could do is you can also adjust the order. So if I wanted to move these around, I could do that. Maybe I'm going to delete this one. I don't want it anymore, remove it. I could also look at my list and say, you know what, I really want to add some. I don't think I have enough here. So I can click add more listings. It'll bring me back a step and I can add more. It's really easy, user friendly. Now I've got all of these and my favorite listings on the map. This way I can see where they are. I'm a visual person. I like to see this. So for me, that's very helpful. And then we do estimate. And this gives you an opportunity to create a range based on the properties that you found here. I love a range rather than a magic number to sell. And then it shows you all of the properties that you've pulled as your comps here. You can also do an estimated net proceeds. A lot of sellers, especially if they're business savvy, financially savvy, really like to see this. It's great if you're in the mortgage industry also. And then finally, this brings me to my pages. And this is where you get to edit what looks like a website almost. So these pages can also be moved around. You can delete them. So I can just drag and drop it like this. And remember, I talked to you about how all the flyers and resources on Greenhouse can be uploaded here. So I can click on add a page and create, and I can upload a PDF right here. So let's say that I have a PDF that has my headshot and my, or a PDF that has my sales success statistics. That's a mouthful. Or maybe so these are opportunities to create pieces for yourself so you can brand yourself and you can add it right here.
Here for the others.
No, it's just for this project. So you don't have to, but you can create a template and then just duplicate it going forward. So if you wanted this to be the template, you could do that and then just duplicate it. You can also add a page from the library, meaning Moxi has its own pages. So you can see all the ones that are already in here. So they're pretty much all in here except purchase costs. So I could add one right from here. And then when I go back to the pages, it shows me all of the pages one by one. So I can scroll up and down, or if I don't want to scroll through, I can just click on the page itself and it will fly me right there. I don't have the attention span to like scroll through 25 pages and find what I want. So I would probably just fly to where I want to go. Now, let's say I want to, because I'm sure all of you are detail oriented, make that you see what your client sees, you know what it looks like. So at the top here, I click the drop down and click web view. what it will look like for my client when they see it online. And at the top here, and web is my favorite part. What looks like a personalized website that you've created for your seller. And as I scroll down, it shows me all of the pages that we just added in. So I designed it custom, right? I have my custom title. It has the address, it has the date, my contact information. And then as we go through, it starts to show you everything related to the properties and subject property that we chose. This is my favorite part of it because this is what differentiates this from a standard CNA. So usually when you do a CNA, it's static, right? So if the status of the property changes between the time you created the CNA with the seller, then it's now out of date, right? This updates in real time because on MLS. I freaking love that. Because you don't have to spend the time going back like 2 minutes before your showing or your listing presentation to change all the details. Also, let's say that I'm shopping and I'm the seller, I'm presenting to the seller and I'm presenting to Mary, and Mary's me, oh, well, you know, house for this because Kathy just sold for that. I'm like, yeah, such a great idea. Let's look at Kathy's house and see why it's sold like that. Oh, okay, here's Kathy's house.
It's 1,000 square feet bigger.
You know, I wonder why it sold for more. And oh, look, she has this amazing pool with a screen and cover, and everything is just absolutely updated and beautifully well done, right? So I can dive right into the properties with them. This is something I've seen people send to their clients before they meet, people show while they're meeting, and or something they send after they meet. So it might be like, oh, so great meeting you today. I wanted to send this to you just as a review for what we went over today. And so I won't go through all 29 pages. I'm sure you've all seen a listing presentation before, but you get the idea that this gives you the great visuals that you would want to be able to share with your clients. There's multiple ways that you could see it. That's why you can remove some of the pages. Like maybe I don't need this page because I have the page above it, right? If it were me, I would probably delete this page. I don't want to confuse my clients. I don't want them to think like there's 3 other properties that I'm comparing it to.
Just like it.
Some people, like I know my dad, he's a finance guy. He would prefer this page. Why? Because he likes numbers. He wants to see this one has X amount of square feet. This is, you know, whatever the numbers are, that's what he wants to see. So again, this is 3 different ways where you're looking at the same information, but just in a different setup. So think about your client and think which one would probably be the most effective for them. You could also send them one version and then display another version in person. So lots of options there. All right, so now we're going to go out of this one. I'm going to go back to the home page, Moxi Present. And now what you'll see is at the top left, it's going to have the most recent work done. So that's here. It tells me the name of the project, and then it tells me it's for a seller. Now, a few things I could do with this, with the pencil, if I click on that, that will allow me to edit it. I don't want to go into that now, but that will allow me to edit it. And then we have a few other options here too. All right, so the clock itself tells you when it was last updated. This is helpful if you have other people in your Moxi account. So I know, like, you know, when I asked Marley if she did what I asked her to do and did she update the presentation, then I could see, oh yeah, she was just in it 5 minutes ago. I can also see who it's connected with, right? So we connected this project with Eureka Ming. I can click on that person, and then finally the 3 dots at the bottom. And this is where you asked about creating it as a template. So here it gives me the option to share. I could share it right from here. I can email it. I can also change settings. My favorite is the duplicate because I can spend all this time. I mean, it took us longer than it would take you to design one, but all this time and all I have to do now is duplicate it going forward, just change the name and the property details. So it's pretty easy, right? So if I spend all that time creating the PDFs, uploading them, now I've created a template for myself. I can also turn it into a quick flyer. So depending again on your client, you can use whatever you want. I can also assign it to an agent. So maybe if I'm doing a referral with someone, like I'll say, you know what, like you do all the in-person stuff. I can't handle that person. I'll create. And then I can also add a co-presenter if I want. So lots of ways, and you mentioned, I know, asked about Teams before, so this is a good way to get everyone connected on the same page. Can you guys handle one more presentation?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, has anyone used the buyer tour presentation? Okay,
Real quick, 'cause
Yeah.
I need to leave, and I appreciate you doing seller first.
oh, sure.
So my sellers are in 4 different locations, and how do you interact with them live with this, or? Unless you're Zooming. Yeah, but if you are presenting like we get when we're on a Zoom or
You could
whatever.
present from your Zoom. You could get on a
Yeah,
Zoom with
just like
everybody and
this.
share your screen like she's doing.
Okay, so I misunderstood that there was an option to do that. Program rather
Sure,
than
so, let
Zoom,
me show you.
rather than Zoom.
She's showing.
But if you save it as a live link, then wouldn't you be able to open that link into your Zoom account?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways that you could do it. I can email it like this. You can get it as a PDF. I personally love the fact that you don't have to send this as a
Yeah,
PDF,
'cause
even though
it's
you
live.
can. Just because I don't love having to explain to people how to download something, or if they can't get the attachment or whatever, like we're all on our phone, right? Like it's very rare that we're in front of our computers, so. The other option is not what I wanted to do. You can click the share button here. And then it will allow you to connect it with other people, but once I publish it, if I click publish now, it's going to set it up like it's my own website. So now I have this website, and this is what I would share with my clients. So just like I have my screen up here, I'd probably pull it out, make it its own window, and then make it full screen, but you can, there we go. Just
So
like that.
I understood that. For some reason, I thought it had its own program, so you didn't have to use Zoom, but you need to either use Zoom or some other presentation
Mhm.
platform.
But you can also text it to them, so they, or email to them, so that way they have the link, and then they can follow along on whatever is
yeah.
most convenient for them.
Okay.
So you could even say like, oh, let's, scroll down to page 2, or scroll down to where you see this. So it says at the top 2 out of 29, so you can guide them by the
Which
pages
page
too.
number?
Yeah.
Because
All right.
my client said, oh, we can use my WebEx, and okay, so now I've got something and she's saying we're using hers. It sounds like she's in control. And
It just means she's setting up the Zoom link, but you can still share your screen, just like I'm doing right now. So I'm not in charge of the Zoom, thankfully.
Awesome. Marley, thanks for taking the extra few minutes for
Oh, my
that.
pleasure.
Okay.
All right, so anyone working with buyers right now? Want to be working with buyers? Yes, okay. So let me show you something that is one of my favorite tools in the presentations. So we're gonna do the same steps that we did before. It looks very similar to the seller. So click the blue box that says create new. And we'll click the third option here, which is buyer tour. What we're doing with this one is setting up a more interactive two-way conversation for showings with buyers. And click continue at the bottom right. If you work for the company I think you work for, then I probably have something. All right, so leave the default template and click continue at the bottom right again. And same thing, I can customize this. So we'll just call it the Smith family. And click create at the bottom right. Give it a second to load. It's going to do the same thing and come up with a bunch of pages that you can share with your buyer. So what you're doing is you're not just creating an opportunity to set up showings with them, but you're also creating a chance for them to compare the properties that you'll be seeing together. And you give them a chance to rate the properties or review them or both before or during or after your showings with them. So one of my least favorite things to do would be to prepare all of my showings, pull all the properties that I wanted to share with my clients, send them the email, right? Then I arrange all the showings. Then the next day we go to do the showings and they look at the MLS sheets I give them and they say, I don't really want to see this one. Like, okay, like now I have to call the agent and cancel on them, and that's not a fun conversation, and that changes the timing for everything, right? It's like domino effect, and probably one of the most frustrating parts of being a realtor. What this does is it allows you to send it to your client before you show up in person, and they can review and rate the properties, and they can give it, you'll see there's up to 5 stars. So well, let's put Eureka here again, because I love that word.
You know what it means, right?
What?
I found it.
I didn't know that. Really? Thank you.
That's my limit.
So you can add an image here if you want. I'm gonna skip this for now and just go to continue. And then same thing like we did before, you can find properties up here. Just gonna zoom out and see what I can find. Keep it very general. Mine defaults to New Jersey, because that's our MLS access. Sure, there's something here. All right, try that again.
Well, there's nothing. Can you add a filter?
I don't think you can add filters,
There's nothing for waterfront.
but disregard mine because mine is the test one, even though everything here is water.
Yeah, that's my problem is that I sell waterfront, so,
That's good.
um,
A good problem.
but.
All right, so let's say that I'm working on these properties and I'm trying to arrange showings for my buyers. We're pretending that the state of Florida is much smaller than it actually is right now. So I'm gonna set up 3 showings for them. Actually, you know what, I'll be ambitious and set up 4. I like them, so I don't mind spending time with them. And I'll click continue. And now it's going to show me all of the properties that I've picked for the showing. And again, another one of the most frustrating parts of creating a showing plan is figuring out where the properties are on a map, how you get to them. So here on the map, it shows me like number 1 over here, 3 and 4. So looks like I have a pretty good setup today, but I can also click change order and I can move the properties around, right? So I can say, you know what, I don't want to do that one last. I want to do this one first. So I can move them around, save the order. And then to make the conversation with your clients even easier, you can put on here the date and the time that you're going to be doing the showing. So they call it a meeting time. It's really, we know it as the showing time. So let's say I'm planning for tomorrow, the 13th, and what time? Let's say 1 o'clock. We'll do PM. All right. And then I can do that for all of these. And same thing like we did with the seller's presentation, I can edit remarks on here. So maybe I don't need them like seeing everything about it. But maybe I want to say like, seller is really motivated. Something like that. So something to keep in mind. And then same thing, you can add a custom listing, just like with the seller's presentation, so that if you have a, you know, you just happen to come across an agent that has another off-market property that's next door to the house you're seeing or in the neighborhood, you can add that here. All right, now we've got our listings, we've got our plan for today, for the day. Got all of our pages set up. Bless you. Bless you. Okay, now we're going to go to view. We're going to check out what it looks like here. It's going to create my buyer tour presentation, similar to the seller setup, right? I won't spend much time on that. This gives you some information about the properties itself. So it's like a showing, what I say?
CMA.
Yeah, like a showing CMA. It's like your showings, but on speed, right? Like you're giving them more information. This is also really helpful for you because if they decide that they do like one of the properties and they're ready to move on it and make an offer, then you have that information already prepared. So all the time that you're spending putting together showings, you could do that right on here. And then just to show you one more feature. I don't want to do that one. So you can also do the same thing here. You can assign it to an agent, add a co-presenter. You can share it a few different ways, depending on how you want to share it. And I'm going to click publish now to get it out for my clients. And then when I click on each property, it gives me all of the features and details about that property. So this way I have all of the information about it. Depending on your timing, you might want to include that in your listing just to give people an idea. And then there is also an option, where's my, okay, so on this page, this is the listing overview page. You see how each property has 5 stars at the bottom, blank stars. And then it says add review and 0 reviews. So this is your connection with your client. If I click on this, I'll show you, maybe the agent say, this is a 5-star property, and then I want to add a review. It will give me an option to add my rating of it and then write a review on it. So I can,
Paris has that, like, we can just give them parameters, they just get automatic emails whenever it's active or pending or sold. They can say if they're interested or not interested,
Mhm.
and it just automatically goes out to them.
Yeah, and this way you're saving your time also and not wasting another agent's time by arranging all the showings and setting it up, and then they say, I don't want to see that property. So this is one of my favorite tools. No one's used it before, not yet. This is one of my favorite tools. It's also something that I would use as an opportunity to post on my social account or share in an e-newsletter to say, this is something that I do with my clients. I create a two-way conversation. This is how I build relationships. I share the properties we're going to see in advance. You have an opportunity to rank them, to rate them, review them, and then we work together to set up a schedule that works best for you. That's what people want, right? They want it to be customized to them. So another great tool that you can use.
To get a listing, I like the Paris thing, because they know everything is active, like when it's coming on,
Yeah, and that's why I also really like neighborhood news, because it's an easy way to stay in touch with people. You don't have to worry about sending it out. You already have them set up on the zip code, and you can also add more than one. So like I've had people that are looking in multiple zip codes, or maybe they're debating staying in Florida or moving back to New York.
So your neighborhood news is really the properties that are coming on the market that are sent. It's not really, there's a crab feed on Friday night.
No, not.
Gotcha, okay, all right.
Yeah. Although that sounds really good. Yeah, I'd be craving crab.
You're in just the wrong place.
Crab so good.
What I'd like to see is
Yes.
postcard.
Yes.
Is there a Christmas postcard that we can send to everybody?
So-
I've been looking for it, I can't find one,
I don't know if they have a specific, I haven't looked.
because I've gotten them in the mail from other cities that have been texting me.
Well, Moxi Impress, I think about it, impress, like to make an impression. So Moxi Impress is where you can find all the print and digital postcards, brochures, e-cards, flyers, so you can choose whatever you want from here. So we can look at the postcards. I don't know if they have one specific to Christmas per se.
You know, the holidays.
I'm not sure. Hi, guys. Nice to meet you. I'm gonna get in touch about the green. Okay.
Is this gonna be recorded for later? What is the rest of it? Thank you, guys.
I haven't looked through it in
Yeah,
a
yeah.
while, just because they're always updating it.
You're already looking.
So-
So
Hold
you're
on.
at,
Wait 1 second.
so
So in Moxi, it's
Yeah.
the one at the top that's called Impress,
okay.
because you want to impress me.
Yeah, yeah. Moxi.
It's really about making impressions. And
Because I've got, you know, the postcard that I created and sent out, but then I wanna get to where all the other postcards are that you're looking at.
yeah, this is what I would use. If you want postcards, they have them up here at the top right, and then it gives you.
You say where you are, so, pinpoint social media.
So click on designs. Oh, thank you. All right, I'm gonna do email campaigns also. There's social media on here too, if that's helpful for you.
I'm gonna go around a bit and like.
Okay, something also that I would share for you, this is, I don't know why more people don't use this, but there's a single property website, meaning like if I have a new
That
listing.
I'd like to figure out, because I've tried to do it on my own, and then I did it once, and then when I went to do it again, I was like. Just frazzled.
I might not be able to show you all the way just because I don't have a listing through the test account. But single property websites you can do through Impress here, and this gives you the chance to create a website that's like specific to that listing. This is a great, again, another great value add that you can share with a potential seller. And also if there's, let's say you're working with a buyer, you just want to like show off one property for them, you can also create it, although I wouldn't waste it on that. But go here and let's call it test.
Do they pay for these agents?
Do they?
No, like if you were gonna do
Believe
single
it's
property, it's
extra.
not extra, that's what I mean.
Not as far as I know. I don't have any, like, I can add a fake, here, I'll add my headshot here. Follow along with me. All right, so once I've added my headshot, then I get my text, and again, it might not work all the way for me just because I'm using the test account. I'm just gonna type a few words. And then the agent will be the same information that pulls from your Dash account. I can also title myself like best agent ever.
Love it.
Thank you, thank you. This is where you can also, I really encourage people to put their social handles here. So if you have that, add your URLs and then save it and continue. And now it's going to go into the opportunity to publish it. And that gives me the creation right there. It's really user friendly.
Probably filter it, you could probably filter it.
You can also use a shorter URL just to make it cuter. Doesn't make a difference, but you can do that if you want to share
Okay.
it. So that's something that most people don't use.
The IDX, what exactly does that mean?
The IDX means that you're connecting it directly through the MLS feed, but there's some MLSs that don't allow you to use branded like videos or websites. Like in Florida, I don't know what the rules are here, but our MLS in South Florida doesn't allow us to use branded videos, like branded by the photographer.
Okay.
So I don't know. Fun rules. All right, so more projects.
I mean,
There's social products on here, videos, virtual tours. If you didn't already know, properties that have virtual tours and or like layouts of the properties sell faster than those that don't. That's what people really
say
appreciate.
that again?
Properties that have virtual tours or a layout or like a blueprint of the property, those sell faster.
Gotcha.
People like seeing those. Also, if you can stage a property, whether it's in person or virtually, those also sell faster. There's opportunities here to create it, but if it's okay with you guys, I'm gonna go back to Moxi Engage and show you the campaigns. How does that sound? Like the email campaigns. How are you doing on time for everyone?
I have a few
Good.
more minutes.
I was gonna say, how's your attention span? That's the worst part. All right, let me get into agent mode. Hang on a second. All right. Let me stop that and I'm gonna do the
So if we
campaigns.
get one of these flyers, then once we design it, then it'll say where do we wanna send it to, and then we can pick it through.
Yeah, and you can all, well, I would do, if you're looking for something virtual, then I would do a campaign over a flyer.
Oh, really? I
Yeah,
mean,
because that's gonna be a much easier
So
transition.
say that again.
We're gonna do the campaigns right now,
Okay.
so I'll show you, but I would do a campaign
So
instead of
it's in Moxie.
creating a flyer.
Okay.
Yeah, if you wanna,
Get
instead of
back
doing
to
a
Moxie
postcard,
Engage.
yeah.
All right, so you're all in. All right, let me make this bigger. Okay, so in Moxi Engage, you see Moxi Engage at the top, click on campaigns, which is at the top right. So campaigns is going to allow you to connect with your contacts that you already have in Moxi. And you could do this automatically, you can create a schedule. The schedule can be done by specific dates. You can set it up for e-blast, you can attach a flyer or include it in there. And so if you click at the top right, the blue button that says add from library, this is going to give you a chance to choose a template that might already exist here. So I've had people in the past, they really like there's a pet one that everyone loves. That seems to be the big winner. If you click on, as you can see, there's a ton of different options. Kathy, since you asked about seasonal, there's a seasonal.
I've already got it.
She's okay, you're fast.
Yeah.
I see that. So you have holiday e-cards, greeting cards, of course, the pets edition, because everyone loves their pets. And if you click on preview, then you can see what it will look like. That way you have an idea of whether you like it or not. And then as you go to the next page, once you've decided that you love it, of course, we're gonna go with the holiday pets edition, because what's more fun than that? Then you can check on the campaign schedule. So deciding when that this would go out, when does it work for you? So I'm gonna get this one started so you can see how quick and easy that it is. So up here, you can see that I've now successfully added my campaign here. And now I need to set it up. So I'm going to click on the title. So where the words are blue, where it says holiday greetings, e-cards, that's where I'm going to click on it. And then I can subscribe people to it as I deem necessary. Maybe I even have a group of animal fans or cat lovers or dog lovers or however, I don't know, hamster lovers, however you want.
Love hamsters.
Vegetarians, I don't know. So now under campaigns, I can, just like many other parts in Moxi Works, I can use the campaign setup. That's our wizard. So starting at the top under the campaign name, see how it says holiday greetings e-cards? Right underneath it says edit name in blue. Anything that's blue is usually hyperlinked on here. So once I click on that, we can decide what I really want to call it. Maybe I want to call it like Holiday Greetings 2024 edition, something like that, a little more specific. So I can do that. Next, we want to decide who's going to receive the email campaign. So you're all amazing people who've already gone through all of your contacts, you categorize them, you put them in groups. So this is going to be the easy part, right? So you do this by clicking setup, which is to the right of recipients. So you see the red arrow. So you'll click setup. And then this is going to bring us to the campaign where now you can set it up as a schedule. Once you've decided that, you add your recipients, and this is where you add from the people, my people. All right, so we would go into people. Maybe you want to send it to just 5 people.
And can we edit this? Cause like mine says, Wine Country Group, Better Homes and Gardens, Wine Country Group.
That might be from Dash, so I would check on that.
So.
You can also add people manually one by one. You can also take people off. So let's say that you have a bunch of people that you're sending it to in a group, but you realize like that person is for whatever reason not going to appeal to this, then you can manually uncheck them. That way you don't always have somebody who's there. You can also, once you select the group, you can find out what's great here is that you can also add a new person to the group, and then they'll also automatically begin receiving these campaigns. So whatever email is next in the list, you can add them to your sphere here. And then we'll go back to the people tab and add them. So now we've selected our people who we want to send this campaign to. And now you can see at the top, it tells me the number of people that I'll be sending it to. And don't worry, you'll be able to add more people if you want later on. That's the good thing about it, is that even though you may have set up the campaign and you need a new contact, you can always add them in later. Now you have your campaign schedule. So this kind of reminds me of like the to-do list, Jana, that you were asking me about. So now that you've set up the recipients, you should see that there's a blue check mark next to the word campaign or campaign schedule. And from here, you're going to see this preview option again. So see at the top right, it has preview in all caps. So from here, what you'll want to do is take a look back at each of the pieces in the campaign, just to make sure that this goes along with what your vision is for the campaign. So sometimes it takes a little more work up front, but once you've set it up, then you just click send and it goes all by itself.
The worst part is the beginning.
That's right. Yeah, it's tedious, but not all campaigns, give you the opportunity. So I like that you can go back in and edit this. And then once you, so the pop-up here, or what you're seeing on this screen here, is just to remind you that whatever changes that you're making, they might break the ability for the campaign to be auto-updated by the publisher. So just make sure that whenever you're changing something, that you're clear that it's what you want to do.
So with the auto updater, will it, for example, on the holiday campaign, since it's December, will it jump to December and send out this December?
Yeah, as long as you have it set up for after December 12th.
Okay.
If we're talking about one setting up for this December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then what you have here all the way at the top right in the red rectangle is run campaign. So run campaign is like publishing it or pressing send on your email. So once you're ready to go, you click run campaign, and then all of those messages get set up and sent out to those people on the date that you want. So it took us, what, all of like 6 minutes to talk about that. Probably take you a little bit longer just to design the campaigns, but once you get those done, that's it, right? So you have like months worth of campaigns going out to multiple people all at once. And then if you go back to the campaigns dashboard, you'll see that there's different types of campaigns. So you have e-blast, neighborhood news, and listing announcements. We already looked at neighborhood news and listing announcements, right? So those we've got. But here are some campaigns that you can choose from to stay top of mind. Again, take time, preview these, check out what's available. This is another opportunity to communicate with your people. So e-blast, Kathy, this might be what you were thinking about before. If you were creating like a single flyer and you wanted to send it out to a group of people, that would fall under e-blast instead of campaigns.
Gotcha.
Campaign is more like an ongoing marketing communication plan with them. So it's not just one email at a time. But if let's say I got a new listing and I wanted to advertise it, or I just closed on a new listing, or I don't know, something else amazing happened, I want to share it, then I would create an e-blast and I would include that flyer or information in the e-blast. So that's the difference between the campaigns and the e-blast also. We already talked about neighborhood news and listing announcements. And then the my email section, that's where it aggregates all the emails that you work with. So any email account that's connected to your Moxi account will show up there. How are you guys doing so far? Good? Does anyone want to go through one of
I
their
just wish
campaigns?
They would let us like, make changes to the postcard, you know what I mean?
I would reach out to the marketing team and ask. What I've seen other people do is reach out to the marketing team and say, can you design a template for me for
Well,
this? And
because
they'll
I have
upload it.
more than one license number too, so I like to disclose all my license numbers when I send them now.
I would ask them about it.
You can make all the postcards questions to the agents. Always ask that.
We'll skip the rules. Already talked about this.
Do it, yeah.
Know your license in other states.
All right. I
So,
think that's good for today.
so I just have one question. So if I go into present, right? And if I have a client that we did close with. And so, and if I wanted to go ahead and put that out, that was done and put that feed out to, I guess it would be an e-blast to everybody else that's in my contacts. Can you walk me through that?
Sure, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got a listing, I gotta drop by and pick up the media. Then I'm back.